Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Saturday, December 2nd, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, Cash App $sign ORION or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the SEC Championship game. Number one, Georgia Bulldogs going off back-to-back natties, trying to make it 3 in a row, going against their rival, number 8, Alabama Crimson Tide. You know, it's crazy. Alabama was the team for many, many years. Georgia has gotten the natty in back-to-back years. Oregon suffered a loss to Washington last night, but the best team won. You know, I ended up repping my Oregon gear last night. I took Paisley on a walk with the green apple hoodie, the green apple pants, you know, and there is no shame in it. You know, we ended up falling short. We didn't have a good first half. And I know one thing with the Georgia Bulldogs, they want to make sure that they're like Washington and they come out fast and they come out furious. Because if Alabama starts strong, like Washington did against Oregon, Alabama has a shot. Now, we know Alabama's number 8. We know Alabama isn't as good as they were in previous years. But remember, again, Alabama is 11-1. Georgia is 12-0. Same kind of scenario with the Washington Huskies being 12-0 and the Oregon Ducks being 11-1. So we will see who reigns supreme in the SEC. But I'm very excited. You know, we would assume Georgia beats Bama, but it is up for grabs. Michigan beats Iowa, even though some guys on College Game Day, 3 out of 5 had Iowa winning. I don't know what that's about, but I would assume Michigan's going to beat Iowa pretty easily, right? Washington will remain probably in that 3rd spot. And then the last spot is going to come down to if Louisville beats Florida State or if they get some ref help, they're out of the conversation. And then we can put Texas in as the number 4 team. And that if that ends up happening, that'll probably be the best college football playoff. You know, Texas playing Georgia, 1 versus 4, and then we get an amazing Rose Bowl potentially with Michigan and Washington. So that's kind of what I'm leaning for, because I don't think anyone wants to see a 13-0 Florida State without their starting quarterback getting mollywopped by Georgia, you know, in the first round of the college football playoff and being beaten down Florida State by like 30 or 40 or 50. You know, at this point of the season, if we have over 100 Division I teams, right? We want the best of the best. If I can't get there with Oregon, you know, I'm rooting for Washington. I want the Pac-12 to finish strong, and they're going to be probably the least likely team out of the 4, Texas, Washington, Michigan, and Georgia, to, you know, make history. But that doesn't mean that I don't love Michael Penix Jr. or the Washington Huskies, even if I am a Duck fan. So this is going to be very, very interesting. So Texas obviously got the job done earlier today against Oklahoma State, and now it's just up to these other teams to get their ticket punched for this tourney that we call the college football playoff. Let's go, baby. I am ready. David in the building. What's good? Sarah in the building. Let's get to 100 in donos. Let's do it. And, you know, this thumbnail, man, I'm telling you, you know, some of them take a lot of effort. And with this particular one, man, I mean, I had to go through so many images, but I feel that it turned out pretty good. I was going to do the outside of the stadium and go with Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but they didn't have any good photos with that, so I figured I would actually use the indoor, you know, picture from the game today. Looks like it turned out pretty good, and then we got a nice little Georgia logo. We got the Alabama logo, and then I got this really dope Alabama with the elephant logo as well. And then there'll probably be a nice Georgia Bulldog one that we'll be able to represent also. So let's go, baby. Number 1, Georgia Bulldogs. Brock Bowers there on the left, the best tight end in the country. And then quarterback Jalen Milroe, he ended up getting benched, you know, halfway through the season, got his job back, and he's been electric ever since. Let's go. Your boy is ready. I haven't missed this game in years and years and years, and hopefully we'll get some people to come through and show some love. And I know, you know, obviously on Saturday and Sunday, people are going to be busy, but, you know, there's nothing that's going to get in the way of me being able to watch as me and Paisley got a chance to wake up early, you know, and go on a long, long walk, have breakfast, you know, and I'm ready for this game to get going. And I'm excited. I think Alabama will play well. I'm not for sure that they can win this game, but I know that they're going to do everything in their power. They got Georgia by 5.5. So it's not like the Oregon line where Oregon was favored by 9.5, but it shows you can be amazing. You know, you can be great all year long, right? You can be great all year long, but if you have a bad first half, that might be the beginning of the end of your season. And we don't even know if Bo Nix is actually going to participate in the bowl game, which I assume he probably won't unless he gets pressure from his parents or if he wants to kind of do it for the teammates type of thing. But Oregon never wins bowl games. I mean, the last time we won a bowl game is like when we actually were in a bowl game that meant something, like the Rose Bowl with Justin Herbert. So we'll see what happens here. Key receiver injuries. Buck Bowers missed 3 of the last 5 games with an ankle. McConkey, he's a stud. Obviously, he's got some injuries as well. So we'll see how everything plays out here today. Brad Nessler, oh, baby. Let's go. And obviously, I always used to love the Vern Lundquist voice. You know, there's just certain voices that, you know, remind you of the SEC. And then obviously after this game, we'll have Michigan and Iowa and on Fox, as well as Louisville and Florida State. I'm not going to be streaming those since I'm streaming this one. And then I'll spend time with Paisley the rest of the day, get a lot of reading and film study in, and enjoy the college football season because it is wrapping up. And then after that, tomorrow is going to be a hella busy day. We're going to be doing the Eagles and the Niners at 1:25. I'm not going to get any rest. And then more than likely, we'll jump into Sunday night football, getting the Chiefs and the Packers on Sunday night. So going to be a long day, but I'm going to be here for it. And hell, Eagles, Niners, they're the 2 best teams in football. Packers have playing better within the last month. And the Chiefs, we'll see if they can go into Lambeau and get that dub. And if they do, it probably won't be by a lot. And I'm hoping for 2 really amazing matchups for tomorrow. And here we go. We got Georgia coming out of the tunnel. Man, I love this. Here comes Alabama. Let's go. You know, every year, you know, these are the games that, you know, you wake up and you dream that you could be a part of a game like this, whether being a fan at the stadium, being a fan watching the game, and just experiencing history right in front of your very eyes. Let's go. Is the weather getting a little crazy out there? In Alabama, you know, it was like Alabama, 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 year in and year out. You know, and finally Georgia was able to, you know, climb the mountain, and they've won back-to-back natties, and they're kind of the dog, right? You know, we know they're the Georgia Bulldogs, but they're the top dog now. And even though they're not as good, you know, probably as those previous 2 teams that won the Natty based off depth and NFL talent possibly coming in this year, they are still good enough to three-peat. Now, will they? You know, Michigan, if they win against Iowa, Washington already punched their ticket, and then Texas, they're all going to say, hey, we got a chance. And the way that Quinn Ewers played today, he's a stud. I can't wait to be able to see him at the next level. And I'm telling you, if Georgia ends up getting this dub and we get Georgia, Texas, and then we get Michigan, Washington, that is going to be the best scenario for the college football playoff period. There's no other scenario. I know Ohio State, Oregon, and a few other teams are going to feel a little left out. But, you know, you win, you get in. You lose, you're not going to get in. And the only way that this all shakes up is if Alabama wins, then we'll have Alabama, Georgia, probably Michigan and Washington, you would assume, right? But again, you know, we'll see what the committee decides to do. Matt in the building, what's good? How are you, brother? And look at this, bro. You know, I'm always repping. You know, the gear doesn't come off, man. You know, like I said, I took a long walk after the loss, and I think I handle wins and losses much better than any fan on planet Earth. Like, you know, I didn't cry, I didn't punch a wall, I didn't scream, I didn't yell. You know, I'm okay. You know, like I said, when you've been watching football and sports as long as me since 1985, you know, I've been watching for like 38 years. You know, I know what it takes to be a champion. I know what it takes to be able to get to that next level. And you know, like I said, it's sad that it ended up this way. But again, it just wasn't our time, you know, and sometimes you got to lose before you win. Sometimes you got to crawl before you walk, and you got to go through that pain and those hurdles before we can actually say, hey, we are the college football champions of whatever year it may be. And then it's going to be harder moving forward. But I still got my duck gear. And I got amazing duck, you know, gear that's green apple, which is like my favorite color. But obviously, I can't wear it on stream because of the green screen unless I took the background off, and then it would just, you know, show like a wall behind me or my green screen, just the green behind me. But I mean, I got Oregon Duck helmets that I could wear during the stream. I got the green apple hoodies. I got the green apple sweats. You know, that the actual official ones that they wear on the sideline from a few years ago. I mean, I got a lot of merch that I can't wear, unfortunately, through the green screen. But you know, I'm always going to be repping in the streets no matter what. Oregon all day, every day. And a lot of people, when you have a tough loss, what happens? You have the jersey on and you get people stomping on it, throwing it at the wall, and I'm just going to be able to wear it proudly. I'm good, man. Like I said, we gave it everything that we had. And I know most Oregon fans won't be rooting for the Huskies, but like I said at the very beginning of the year, Michael Penix Jr. is my favorite quarterback to watch out of all quarterbacks, even though we had Bo Nix. Bo Nix statistically was better throughout the whole season, except for probably last night. And, lefties are smooth. And he's gone through a hell of a journey himself, Michael Penix Jr., with all the injuries. He had 4 consecutive years of season-ending injuries, ended up transferring to Washington last year, had a pretty good year, and then they cap it off with an undefeated season. So you have to understand, not everything is promised in life, and you got to be able to hit those speed bumps, and you got to be able to, recover from them. And, of course, it would have been amazing to be able to make the college football playoff. It would have been amazing to hopefully match up against Michigan and play Georgia in the Natty, but it just wasn't meant to be. And this is the last year of the Pac-12. We're going to have other opportunities to step our game up. We're going to be going into a conference that's going to be, one of the best conferences overall, and we'll see. Michigan and Ohio State is going to make Oregon and Washington and USC better. Because if we end up being mediocre, then we're just going to be falling in line with Iowa and Wisconsin and Penn State and all the other teams that are going to be there in the Big Ten. And I know, as far as Oregon is concerned, we're going to have the best shot to be 1, 2, or 3 in the Big Ten moving forward. We could be better than Washington. Michael Penix Jr. is gone, right? He'll be in the NFL. USC, if they can get a defense, maybe they can get up there as well. But I really feel with Oregon, with the coaching staff and the recruiting, it's going to be Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon for many, many years to come. And here we go. It's on CBS, so turn it on and watch it with me. And like I said, a big portion of me watching so much college football and then me being able to come up with ESPN predictions all the time is because I watch more games and I read more than anybody else. So you got to be able to watch the Brock Bowers, at the tight end position. You want to be able to watch these offensive linemen and these defensive guys because this game is riddled with NFL talent. Big facts. Hybrid in the building. What's good? Let's go. Did you watch that Texas game this morning, Matt? I watched it, and goddamn, Quinn Ewers. I mean, it's not a fair matchup. When you're looking at a matchup like that, you're like, okay, like what do we actually got? Going here. What do we got? Did anyone actually think for just even a second that Oklahoma State was going to keep up? And the answer is no. All right, here we go. First down and 10. Shotgun set. Milroe. Play action fake. He's going long. He's going deep. Almost picked off. Wow. Let's go. Ewers looks like, he could be a good pro in the NFL. Michael Penix Jr., the same thing. I do have a little bit of concerns about Bo Nix. He would have to get to the right team. I got concerns about Bo Nix. I got concerns about Caleb Williams. Drake May hasn't played as good, but he didn't really have a whole lot of NFL talent around him with guys going into the NFL like Downs. And North Carolina's in a shitty conference in the ACC. So, but as far as being NFL ready, most people feel Drake May will be one of those guys like Michael Penix Jr. That will be NFL ready. Quinn Ewers looks like he could be NFL ready as well. But again, it all depends on coaching, supporting cast, and a lot of other factors besides just you being talented and going in from college to the NFL. Let's go. I like Ewers a lot. I like him a lot. And then they got Arch Manning after that. Texas is going to be really fun. And Texas will threaten Georgia and Bama once they go over. Oklahoma isn't the same team anymore, but Texas, they're on that Alabama-Georgia level now. So they're going to have 3. And then the Big Ten, Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan, we're going to have a big 3 as well. Milroe. Scrambling, gambling. Oh, baby, look at that closing speed. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a Bulldog sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Looked like he was going to get away. And, Milroe has got some decent speed, but these Georgia, players on the DN and the linebacking core, they have so much burst of speed. Look, bang! Just that, boom, that quick speed right there. Most guys are able to get out of that, right? But most people don't have Georgia defenders. But that little burst right there, most defenders that are on a normal school don't have guys that have that burst. And that's why the SEC is typically king, because they have the most NFL players typically coming out, besides maybe like a Michigan or Ohio State from the Big Ten. Big facts. They have so much depth on the roster. I mean, Georgia and Alabama have so many good players that probably their bench, their bench guys could end up making another team and end up being pretty good. They wouldn't be able to compete with the top of the top. But if you took all of Georgia's bench players, all of Alabama's bench players, you could probably end up having a top 15 team out of those guys because that's the type of depth that those guys have. That's insane. So it's like you got top 15 team on the bench, and then you got like a number one team in the country that's out there. So someone goes out with an injury. Oh, here's another NFL guy. What a blessing it would be if Oregon could ever get to that point. I love McConkey, and I like Brock Bowers a lot. So look for those guys to be balling out today here for Georgia. Let's go. First down and 10. Go, Brock. And I put him on the thumb, baby. First down, Bulldogs. Let's go. And obviously, I had many choices of the thumb. But, I'm going to go with the guy that's one of the best players on the team, if not the best player, Brock Bowers, baby. And I got Milroe on the right. Let's go. Oh, baby. First down, Bulldogs. Let's go. He's special. I don't care what anyone says. I mean, if you either watch college football or you don't. And again, that's why a lot of these people in the NFL, they don't know a whole lot, because they only watch NFL. You got to watch both if you want to be able to evaluate talent properly. Because the more you watch high school and the more you watch college ball, and you watch a lot of it, not just like a team, you can really figure out who's going to be projecting, on the next level sooner than everyone else. And that's where that ESP and those projections and those predictions come true for your boy. First down and 10. Shotgun set, little halfback toss. Edwards, short gain. We'll see what Carson Beck can do against this highly touted defense. Let's go. Shotgun set, second down and 6 for Carson Beck. You like Dallas Turner? I like Bowers too because he's so athletic. He kind of reminds me of like a Jeremy Shockey because he's so physical and he can like block really well and he's got good yards after the catch. He runs angry and plays angry. Oh, like that. Nice game there. I mean, when's the last time we seen a tight end like Brock Bowers? I mean, they were talking about him years ago, so it's like everyone knew what kind of talent Bowers had, but now I feel he's being like showcased. Now it's like, Georgia, maybe their team doesn't have as many offensive and defensive studs as the previous 2 years. So now finally we can put the spotlight on Brock Bowers. Oh, look at that. We got the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors with the spikes. I love it. Let's go. First down and 10. Under center, Beck slips, little bootleg, keeping his eyes downfield. I love McConkey, man. He is sweet. He's been making plays for the last few years, so anytime they need a big play, if they don't want to go to Bowers, it kind of reminds me of like, kind of a dynamic, and obviously Beck is not Mahomes, but McConkey can kind of be like a Tyreek Hill option. He won't be playing like a Tyreek, but just a guy that is like reliable. And then Bowers is kind of like the Kelsey, so even though Tyreek is going to be, more dynamic and no one is Tyreek, he's a one of one. But just a simple fact, they have a wide receiver and a tight end combo that are both reliable in McConkey and Brock Bowers. The first, team that came to mind was that old Chief team where they had Tyreek and they had Kelsey. And it's like pretty much, you throw anywhere to McConkey, he's going to catch it. You throw anywhere to Tyreek, he's going to catch it. Same thing with Bowers, and that's why I like those two guys so much on this Georgia Bulldog team. Second down and 7. Shotgun set. Uh-oh. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Bang, baby. Oh, yeah, Kendall Milton, baby. Wow. Kirby Smart's like, yeah, that's who we are. That's who we are. That was nice. And the thing is, no one talks about the Georgia running backs. It's like, we've had, so many guys in the past, from Georgia, at running back to be able to kind of make a name for themselves, but it's kind of like that forgotten position, where people don't really pay attention to it. And then when that happens, then you're done. Because like I said, you already know McConkey and Bowers are going to probably get in the end zone at least once at some point in the game. You can't give up 2 or 3 touchdowns on the ground also and think you're going to win. Extra point is up, and it's good. 7-0 Bulldogs, baby. Longest streak since Nick Chubb. What a start. Great start. 7-0 Bulldogs. All right, Bama, your turn. Good start. See, I find another Bulldog photo. Yeah, I'm not sure. All I know is they got the edge right there, and you got to make sure that you're covering all the bases. And again, I don't think Alabama respects Kendall Milton, and by the time the game is over, they will. That's for sure. Let me see if I find a Bulldog logo. Georgia. There we go. All right, so we got the Alabama. So we got the traditional Georgia, right? And then we got the traditional Alabama. And we got the Alabama with the elephant, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, with the Georgia Bulldog with the G there underneath the collar. Very cool. We'll definitely use those. Sometimes you got to dig a little bit deeper to be able to find the ones that you really like. I like that. Too bad they don't have any spinning logos, but these will do. All right, Georgia. Sweet logo, brother. I think both these teams are good. I mean, like I said, anytime you get a team that only has one loss, or an undefeated team, just like with the Ducks and the Huskies. I mean, everyone that we're going to be watching in a lot of these games, there's a lot of NFL talent here, and I'm here for it. Big facts. All right, Bama, your turn. And I think the only question mark for Georgia is Carson Beck. I don't think we have any, running backs are disrespected. I don't think people respect them. They don't respect Beck. They don't respect the running back room for Georgia. But everywhere else, I think they're respected, Bowers and the defense and whatnot. So as good as Beck and Milton play, that's going to determine if they end up winning the Natty or not, or if they win this game and get there. If obviously Beck and Milton have tough games, then they'll lose. So it really does hinder on the quarterback, running back more than ever for this Georgia Bulldog team. The defense alone cannot win the games for them anymore, in my opinion. All right, baby, let's go. Come on, Bama, show me. Come on, Milroe, show me something. Like Milroe is going to be the more popular name, and more people are going to like him more and think that he's better, right? But sometimes, you can be that quiet, quarterback that no one really thinks is that good. And at the end of the day, Beck's numbers might be better than Milroe. We'll find out. 7-0 Bulldogs, baby. Here we go. Shotgun set. Milroe, man in motion. 4 wide. Milroe looking for a target. Got all the time in the world back there making a sandwich. In and out. What happened to my hands? Come on now. Good defense by the Bulldogs. I see you. I mean, I'm soaking in every moment of college football. It's just kind of sad that some people don't care. You know what I mean? But pretty soon they will because, I'll have these memories in my brain while everyone else is going to be bitching and moaning where the college football season went as the NFL season went as well. Pass overthrown, incomplete. Because, everyone loves to bitch and moan about when football's not around. And then when football actually comes around, everyone's fucking lazy. They don't take the time to actually soak it in and love it. They take it for granted. I know what it feels like to be taken for granted. And obviously, I will never take football for granted. And I'm going to soak in as much film as I can and enjoy it because I know it's short. And then by the time we hit February, you're waiting. February, March, April, May, June, July, until we get back to August. So soak it in, enjoy it. Alabama with a punt. All right, Georgia, your turn. Let's go, baby. Let's take a look to see what else that we got going on. Let me see. Let me take a peek. Take a look to see what we got on the NHL, NBA slate, and the rest of the games today. Yes, they do. But if you look at Alabama's offense, who do they have? You know what I'm saying? Like, who do they have on the offense that people know? You know what I'm saying? Is there a Julio Jones out there? Do they have like pieces? Is there like a Najee Harris? What's there? You know what I'm saying? They don't have the same type of team on offense that they used to in the past, where they have these amazing pieces everywhere. Running backs, wide receivers, tight ends. Like, they just don't have the same type of players this year, and that's the big reason why people kind of doubt them. Which I understand. Hell, they didn't even believe in Milroe. They fucking benched him, and that should have been the guy from the beginning all the way to the end. And sometimes you know that you don't have as much as you think you need, or maybe you want. So what do we got? We got Tulane 7, SMU 0. We got Michigan and Iowa on at 5. And then we got Louisville and Florida State at 5 as well. Let's take a quick look here. Got a few NBA games, Golden State and the Clippers on right now. Let me take a look at the full scoreboard. All right, we got Warriors and Clippers, 23-14. Then we got T-Wolves and Hornets, Magic, Nets, Cavs, Pistons, Pacers, Heat, Pelicans, Bulls, Hawks, Bucks, Thunder, Mavericks, Grizzlies, Suns. My Blazers playing the Jazz. Who knows if we can win that? I hope we do. Rip City, baby. And then we got Nuggets, Kings, Rockets, Lakers. So a big slate of NBA games. Let me look at the NHL. All right, on the NHL, we got the Lightning and the Stars, the Blackhawks and the Jets, Rangers, Predators, Islanders and Panthers, Bruins and Maple Leafs, Red Wings and Canadiens. Kraken play today. Ooh, at 4. I'll be able to peep that. Flyers and Penguins, Sabres and Hurricanes, Blues and Coyotes, Canucks and Flames, Caps and Golden Knights, and Avalanche and Ducks. Wow, what a full slate of sports. I mean, you got 10 plus hockey games, 10 plus NBA games, it seems like, and all kinds of amazing college football. Championship weekend. Let's go. Just wish Oregon could have got that dub, but I'm all right. First down and 10. Oh, good defense. Malachi Moore, I see you. And it feels like the only way that Alabama is going to win this game is if they, dominate at defense and get a little lucky. Alabama may need a pick six, a fumble for a touchdown, or a punt return and a kick return for a touchdown. They might need one or two of those four things to happen to kind of even the score. We know Georgia's offense is 1,000 times better than Bama's, in my opinion. Both defenses are elite, but I would probably lean a little bit more towards Georgia. But Bama is good enough to match the defensive intensity, defense for defense, Georgia and Bama, but the offense is not as good on Alabama, and it shows. Second down and 13. Get rid of it, Beck. Oh, my God. Oh, I was going to say, McConkey, you fucking wizard. You goddamn wizard out there. He fucking David Blained his ass. Look at this shit. He tried. I mean, he dove in there. Yeah, but it did bounce in there. I think I mean, we'll see if Georgia runs away with it, but I'm hoping it ends up being a good game and we end up getting a winner between 3 and 7 points at the very end. Third down and 13. Alabama defense putting the pressure on. Shotgun set for Beck. Beck almost picked. Oh, he had it. What happened to my hands? Who was that? Was that Moore? Oh my, he could have had one there. Good defense by Bama, and that's really going to be the only way that they can get back into this game and make sure that they feel that their presence is known out there is that defense. All right, Bama, your turn. Ooh, almost blocked. Yeah, great field position off that punt. All right, Milroe, your turn. Carson Beck, 5 for 7 for 54 yards. Jalen Milroe, 0 for 3. Come on, baby. And Jalen Milroe, he's got the athleticism, but the accuracy kind of concerns me a little bit. He's got a QBR of 84.5, 21 touchdowns, 6 picks, 6'2", 220, 2,526 yards. But most of the time, his completion percentage is around 65 to 66%. So a little concerning at times. All right, baby. Milroe, Isaiah Bond. Auburn couldn't believe it. But the thing is Alabama shouldn't even been in a position to be able to have a touchdown late to beat fucking shitty ass Auburn. If you're legit, right, you blow them out. It's not even close. So, it's cool that they made that comeback, but they should have never gotten to that position. But again, this team is not as good as the previous years, teams that Alabama is used to. It might be the weakest offense that we've ever seen from Alabama. I mean, can we think of any other year where the offense was kind of ho-hum and they really leaned on the defense much more than ever? It's like Milroe is a name, but he kind of reminds me of like Justin Fields. It's like, he can't really throw. He can throw once in a while. He can use his legs and gain yardage, and he's athletic, but you just can't trust his arm to make the throw all the time. But there are going to be some splash plays involved, and he can obviously get touchdowns with his legs, and he will be able to throw for some touchdowns too. But, it's like I feel they the only way that it ends up, going above and beyond is if that offensive line is like the best in the nation and they got really good running backs and wide receivers and tight ends to make up for maybe Milroe's consistency factor. So It's like sometimes I see him do amazing things, like, oh my God, like a 40-yard post. And I'm like, yes. And then I see him go for like a 10-yard slant and he like overthrows it by 10 yards. I'm like, what the hell happened? But that's kind of how it goes. He doesn't have the smoothness of like a CJ Stroud. He's more of like a Justin Fields, where sometimes he'll make a big play, but he'll fuck up a lot too. So, but still good enough. If you can get some plays on special teams and defense and score points there, Alabama could win this game. Do I think they will? No, but you never know how injuries. We can't predict those either. We don't know what's going to happen. 2nd down and 2. Milroe looking for some talent, running away. Go, baby, go. Use those legs. Use those legs. There we go. A very Justin Fields-like play. 1st down, Bama. Roll Tide. First down and 10. Handoff. Oh, keeper. But Milroe, I mean, you're not going to be able to use him as a runner for the whole game. He's going to get burnt out. He's definitely a guy that could rush for, over 100 yards, but you're not going to be able to use that as the focal point of the offense, for every single play. Second down and 3. Oh, nice defense there by the Bulldogs. Wow. Third down and 9. Shotgun set. Milroe going deep. Oh, wow, he caught it. I believe maybe hit the wall. Oh, did he drop it? Oh, he dropped it. But he didn't get a foot down though. Good effort. Could have had better accuracy there. You might have been able to have a splash play. Bounced off his knee. That's that accuracy right there. And look at him. He's like, I'm open. I'm open. Burton, they didn't see him. Obviously, Milroe loves going to Isaiah Bond, though. That's his guy. Rocket. 4th down and 9. 43-yard attempt. Kick is up and good. 7-3, Georgia. There we go. Finally, they got on the board. But we're used to seeing Alabama get touchdowns, right? Not most in FBS history career points. Will Rockard getting field goals. I mean, the times have changed, from Alabama getting points, and now they have to rely on field goals. So, but a good game so far, I agree. And hopefully we'll get some goats to come through at some point. Will it be hours from now, days from now, weeks from now, years from now? I mean, who the fuck knows? All I know is that all I can do is give my best, and people are either going to appreciate us or they're not. That's just really how it comes down to. Loyalty is everything to me, So there's been a lot of people that have broken that. So, but we'll be all right. We'll hopefully we'll get the right people to come through to help us out. Let me see if I can find a couple Brock Bowers or some Lad McConkey. Good game so far. Let's go, baby. Get the ball to Brock. Get the ball to the lad. Let's go, baby. And here we go. 7-3 Georgia. First down and 10. Man in motion. Shotgun set. Edwards with the short game. Is the OC. Oh, nice. I figured they were related. Not very many people are going to have the name Bobo. Second down and 4. Shotgun set. Handoff up the gut. A little bit of a dog pile there. Gain of a couple. Jalen Milroe, 0 for 4. You can't expect to be able to do anything in the college football playoff or anything in any game if you're going to be like that. I mean, you can use your legs, but again, this guy is very Justin Fields. You know, it's like you're going to be able to make some plays, but you're more of a runner than a thrower, and that is a big problem. Third down and 2. Beck doesn't like the play call. Looks like we might have a blitz. Timeout is called. Thanks for Sarah and Cyber at least helping out on the Twitter side, X side. Get Lad McConkey the ball, baby. See if I can get another Bowers in here. Uh-oh, we got an injury. Third down and 2. There we go. There's that Bama defense. Big play. And I think one thing is for sure that, you could be an SEC fan all day, every day, but no one is afraid of Carson Beck or Jalen Milroe. I mean, these are not the best quarterbacks in the country. You know, JJ McCarthy is much better than both of these guys. And obviously a lot of the Pac-12 quarterbacks are much better than these guys as well. I mean, they got the defense, and a lot of their offensive linemen and some skill position players, but the SEC quarterbacks, not what I'm used to seeing. I mean, we already know Mac Jones is terrible in the NFL, but even Mac Jones is better than these two guys, well, at least when he was there. I don't think so because Milroe's not good enough. If Milroe was actually a good thrower, I would say they have a very, very, very small chance. But I mean, the guy can't even really complete passes. I mean, who are they going to hand the ball off to? I mean, just are they going to have Milroe run himself? Is it going to go to Williams, Miller? I mean, I don't. They don't really have anybody that's like, oh my god, like there's no Derrick Henry there. There's no Najee Harris. What do they have? There is no Julio Jones. Like, at least on the other side, you got McConkey, you got Bowers. I don't think anyone really respects Milton or Beck, but they're better than what you see on the opposite side. You know, First down and 10. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a defensive controlled game, and a lot of the snaps are going to be in mud, but there's still some explosive players that will make some plays. There we go. First down. Bama. Mizzou. Handoff up the middle. There we go. And they got to make sure that they're running the football. And they have to make sure that they, try to have a balanced offense. Because, of course, if you know that Milroe is more of a runner and he can't throw that much, I mean, that sucks for the wide receivers and the tight ends for the team. But, hopefully the O line can get to the second level, like right there, and you're able to get some positive yardage on first and second down to make it easier on third down. Nice 8-yard gain on first down there. Second down and 2. 7-3 Georgia. Shotgun set. Milroe. One to the flat. There you go. Would have went there earlier right away. That could have been a big explosive play. Shotgun set. Keeper on the ground. Almost picked. What happened to my hands? Trying to get too cute out there. Illegal lineman downfield. And he floated that pass in there. You got to be able to have a laser throw, not just float it. You float a pass, it'll get picked for 6. End of the first quarter. Bulldogs 7, Crimson Tide 3. Would have liked a little bit more offense, but you can't really expect a whole lot of Alabama. And, it's going to be a defensive battle, but hopefully we can get into the 20s or 30s by the time the game is over. Miss Vern Lundquist. Like those certain voices. I know he was in on the set a couple hours ago. Those OG voices, like Keith Jackson doing those Pac-10 games back in the day. All right, baby. Always got to read. Got to get up on all the information. No time wasted. Well, we already knew the SEC wasn't as strong this year. If you watch the Big Ten and the Pac-12, I mean, it was very clear, what teams were the best teams. I would still say Georgia is legit. I would still say Georgia can win it all. You would assume Georgia, if Michigan beats Iowa, then I would assume that those would be the two favorites. But like I mentioned before, with the SEC, it kind of feels a little down, and it felt like for the first time ever that a Pac-12 or a Big Ten team could win it all, whether it be Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon, or Washington. And I don't think we've ever felt that before. It's always been, oh, we know who's winning: Alabama, and then Alabama, and then Georgia, and that's it. No one else have a chance. Like Michigan and Ohio State could be undefeated, and it wouldn't matter. They would hang around for maybe a couple quarters, and then they would get blown out in the third and fourth quarter, and then at the end of the game, they end up losing by 20 or 30. So it's like there was a big difference between SEC and then obviously little brother the Big Ten, but everyone else below that isn't even a family member. Pac-12, ACC, Big 12. We're cousins. We're not even in the picture. So at least at this point, it feels like maybe still that Michigan, might have a shot. Maybe Washington could surprise people. Maybe Texas could surprise people. And that's what makes college football great, when you actually feel that it's more than just one team in one conference that's going to win it every single year. Especially if you have 100 Division I teams, over and over and over, just battling it out. And, you want to be able to have hope, You want some parity like in the NFL. Third down and 1 with a little sneak. Fourth down and 1. Milroe under center. Handoff. Just enough. First down, Bama. Move the chains. Yeah, I like Michigan too. I like Michigan and Washington. If Washington can play like that, they're going to have a chance. I mean, Texas has, a pretty good football team, but and Washington will only play like that if their defense and their running game can, make plays. And then Michigan's defense is amazing. Their offense is good. They got Corum. They got, McCarthy. They got they got good players all the way around. I mean, you could argue that Michigan might have the most well-rounded, offense and defense, especially with McCarthy and Corum with that elite defense. That's why people feel that Michigan could win it all this year. But they still got to get past your Iowa Hawkeyes, even though 3 out of the 5 people picked Iowa to win this morning, which was odd. They had Theo Vaughn, picking some of the picks. I think it would be awesome if Michigan won it all. It'd be awesome. I think it would be awesome if Washington won it all. I think it would be awesome if Texas won it all. Just anybody but the SEC. No offense, but it'd be nice to have someone new. Milroe, there you go. There you go. Go, go, go. Touchdown, Bama. Miller. Oh, baby. Jam Miller. It's Miller time. Nice job. Nice job, Jam. Extra point is up, and it's good. Here we go. Finally getting some offense going. Nice job, Jam. It's Miller time, baby. Nice job. That was a good TD finally. 3 for 8 after starting off 0 for 4 or for 5. 3 for 8, 55 yards and a tutty there. But I guess, Roydell Williams and Jam Miller and Jalen Key. I mean, they're just not big names. It's like no one is intimidated by the roster. But we'll see what happens as the game, continues on. 10-7 Bama. .12:04 remaining in the first half. Alabama fans finally feeling pretty good that Jalen Milroe can do something other than his legs. Oh, nice. Sue Bird representing. Maybe one day people will represent for us, huh? That'd be nice to actually feel loved and appreciated, Dr. Pepper contestants going with the push pass like it's a basketball. First down and 10. McConkey in motion. McConkey kind of reminds me of Edelman. You know, he's like one of those guys you can put him anywhere on the field, and he's always making plays. Hey, we've been saying that all year. You know what I mean? Like I said, for all the hard work and all the effort, all the preparation, making the thumbs, taking an hour to 2 hours, all of the, things that I do every single day, working days and weeks on end without a break. You know, um, it's you know, it is what it is. We have to stop caring about the people that don't care about us. So third down and 2. They're just not. I guess they're not like us. They're not hardcore fans. Like I said, some people they just don't care. But for me, I'm always going to be watching all of the championship games. I'm going to be covering as much of whatever is going on, whatever the main event that's going on for that particular day. We're doing it. So there's levels. First down and 10. Back. Oh baby, there we go. First down, Bulldogs through the chains. I mean, we probably would have been able to get better numbers if the game was on at 5 o'clock and then the Michigan Iowa game was on at 1. It's a kind of the time also, being at 1 o'clock on a Saturday. But, again, not everyone is going to have that love and appreciation for college football like some of us. So, or anything that we do for that matter. We already, had the talk with like the other, heavy hitters and the mods and the goats and the regulars, like how important it is to show up every day, regardless if you can donate or not, But again, some of those words go in one ear, out the other, and some people care and some people don't give a shit. It's just that's how it goes. There we go. First down, Bulldogs. First down and 10. 10-7 Bama. 8:30 and counting. Man in motion. Back. Going long, going deep. Oh, what happened to my hands? Aaron Smith, the intended receiver, incomplete. McConkey in motion. Beck, play action, bootleg, going to the opposite side. Should go to Bowers. Alabama out of position. Bama got their substitution on without a timeout. I know he's got an awesome name. 3rd down and 7. Shotgun set for Beck. 4 wide. Beck, good protection up front. Steps up in the pocket. Run. Diving for that 1st down marker and beyond. 1st down. Bulldogs. Move the chains. Good balance offense. Handoff. There we go. Good defense. I mean, is this the weakest running back and wide receiving core we've seen from Georgia and Alabama in many, many years? It feels like it. I mean, I love Bowers and I love McConkey. See, Milton isn't dynamic enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bama's defense is too good. Look how fast the players are on Alabama. That's when you have NFL players and you can see that burst of speed where most running backs would be able to get to the edge. But when you got Georgia and Alabama players that are that fast at D tackle, DN, and linebacker, like they make those plays and you're like, wow, you look like a track star playing football. Like that burst, you don't get that out of regular players. You only get that out of NFL players or players at Georgia and Bama on defense. 3rd down and 12. Uh-oh, 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. That Bama defense. Oh, my. I see you. There you go. And that's what they're going to need. Honestly, they need that defense to play great. I think everyone, well, it's easy to say that now after CJ's having all that success, compared to Bryce Young and AR being injured. Same thing with the Raiders. Like if Gruden never got fired, Gruden they were probably would have vouched. But again, McDaniels didn't want to go for CJ, and he's gone. And I mean, CJ Stroud on the Raiders would have been pretty sweet. I mean, it could have actually turned them around. False start on Georgia. It is a good game. Like I said, regardless if we get a lot of subs, a lot of views, a lot of donos, or we don't, I appreciate the people that are loyal and you know who you are. And it doesn't dictate, how great we are. It's just a matter of, people supporting and people not, and eventually, things will get better. But, oh, he doinked it. No good. Wow. I mean, of course, when you work as hard as we work, you want to be able to get rewarded with the proper, success and the proper support back that you put in. What you put in is what you want to get back, right, in return. But it's not always the case. So, but like I said, I'm not going to let that affect my mental health. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be in a good mood. I'm going to grind it out. And it's either that you are going to ride or die for us and you're loyal to the soil, or you're a fucking pretender and you're fake and you're not loyal. So that's like how it goes. We got to stop, going out of our way for the people that don't care about us. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no point in me checking up on people if they're not checking up on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be a good person and a nice person, but friendships go both ways, right? You know what I mean? There's no point of being that person that always is checking up when they don't do their part. So sometimes you got to let certain friendships and certain relationships go. I'm not gonna, I'm not going to get my mental health wasted for people that aren't worth my time. So 10-7, Bama. Good game. Defense for Alabama is playing great, and they're going to need to play great. And again, for Bama to win this game, they may need a pick six or a fumble for a touchdown or a punt return or a kick return, something to get a little bit more of that Uncle Mo. The offenses obviously are much better, I feel, on the Georgia side with McConkey and Bowers. But again, Alabama's defense is just as good as Georgia's. So, I mean, really, it's going to come down to the line of scrimmage. Who's going to win the O line and the D line battle? Obviously, Alabama's offense isn't really that good, but Milroe is still good enough every once in a while, like Justin Fields when he goes to DJ Moore or Cole Kmet, where he can end up throwing a couple and actually running in a couple. He's got that ability. It's just that it's so inconsistent from drive to drive. And then even though you got McConkey and Bowers, and it seems like Georgia is so much better on offense, we have to give the defense credit for Alabama. They are still Alabama. 11-1 versus 12-0. It's not like one team is 12-0 and Alabama's 8-4. So definitely a defensive battle. All right, Bama, your turn. Come on, Milroe, show me something. And Matt is in heaven. He loves the Twitter X. Plus, it's cool to be able to have conversations outside of the streams if you see something cool. And there's not very many people that love the Ducks more than me and Matt. So it's always good to be able to have those bonds and those vibes, man. And complete. There's a flag. That's why you ended up getting that Oregon Duck chain, because I wanted it to go to someone that actually deserved it. Someone that loves the Ducks as much as me. Flag on the play. Flag on Georgia. PI. 15-yard penalty. First down. Man, if Troy Franklin didn't get hurt, but again, it just sucks that we had to have such a shitty first half. Like, that was one of the worst first halves I've ever seen. But it kind of, the writing was on the wall with that 3 and out. And I already knew. I was like, uh-oh. I was like, we never go 3 and out. And then again, if Bucky Irving doesn't get going, then our offense doesn't get going. So it's like, and Bo wasn't crisp. And then, of course, we made a hell of a comeback at the end. But when you get down 20-3 and then 20-10, I mean, that's too much to come back from in a championship game most of the time. Michael Penix Jr. is the truth, you just got to make sure that you understand the last time that a team went undefeated like that was our Oregon Ducks back in 2010 with Chip Kelly. So you want to make sure that we're congratulating them for an amazing season. You know what I mean? It just wasn't our year. We were hoping it was, but it just wasn't. And it makes it even more of a kind of a disappointment too when we actually had like the best center, top 2 offensive line, top 10 defense, and they just didn't come to play. That aggressive team, normally that was Oregon all year, turned into Washington. Johnson outplayed Bucky. The defense was better than ours. We lost, and it hurts, but we'll be back. We'll be back. It would have really helped to have Noah Whittington too. Not that James is bad. James can only, do as much as he can as third string. But if we would have had Whittington and then maybe gave him a few carries instead of Bucky, maybe we would have, be able to rip off a couple and change the momentum. But wow, 3rd down and 2, 1st down. Crimson Tide, move the chains. Ten seven, Bama. He said, that's a whole statement. You can write whatever you want to write up there, brother. You're good. Pass incomplete. What happened to my hands? Throws a little high there. I mean, the guy's not Wembanyama. I mean, well, obviously, we would want a little bit more scoring, but I mean, these two defenses are the real deal. So it's definitely going to be difficult to make plays. Milroe, get rid of it, idiot. What was that? 12 noon, you know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. You can't sit back there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds when an NFL defense is coming at you. You either run the football or you throw it away. Run or throw it away. And why didn't he just go to the flat to the running back that was open right there? Bad awareness. You know what I'm saying? That's why this guy's like a Justin Fields. You know, he doesn't have it. You know, he's got it. He's got it half the time, and the other half he's confused. He's hanging on to the football too long. You know, like a Geno Smith or like a Justin Fields. You got to react a lot quicker. You're not going against Akron. You're not going against Troy. You're not going against some bullshit team. You're going against Georgia, the number one team that's undefeated. Act like it. Golly. 10-7 Alabama. Tulane and SMU knotted up at 7. Pretty low scoring game so far, besides Texas throwing up 49. 49-21 over Oklahoma State. You knew that one was already over by the first half. Quinn Ewers, 35 for 46, 452 yards, 4 TDs, and 1 pick. Is that good? Damn right it is. Third down and 21, got about half the yardage there. Michael Van Buren, 4-star quarterback, committed to the Ducks in May, decommitted today. That's great. Unless Cam Ward comes, then we'll be good. Yeah, 3 out of 5 too. Fourth down and 4. Man in motion. They got trips to right. And essentially, you would think that Georgia should be winning this game, but Bama's defense has played pretty good. A little alarming if you're a Georgia fan, but I mean, we still got a second half to go. Ten, 7, Bama. Minute 25 left before halftime. Pretty competitive matchup. Fourth down and 4. Saban going for it, huh? Trips right. Shotgun set. Milroe. Good protection up front. Going deep. Wow. Isaiah Bond. First down. Bama. Move the chains. But did he actually catch it, though? Looked like he did. Holy cow. Shotgun set. Milroe hands it off. And especially if Bama goes up 17-7, that's going to be, I don't say impossible to come back from, but it'll be tougher to come back from. A little bit of movement on that football, but no review. Run, Milroe. Touchdown, Bama. Uh-oh, Georgia. Uh-oh. Alabama, Crimson Tide, they might be able to get the upset. I mean, this is exactly what happened with Washington and Oregon. You thought Oregon was going to win automatically, Georgia was going to win automatically, and maybe Alabama will be like the Huskies from yesterday. Not sure if Iowa can do it against Michigan, but I mean, the way that all these teams are folding in these conference and championship games, it's pretty crazy. Extra point is up, and it's good. 17-7 Bama. Wow. You would assume that it would be 17-7 Georgia, not 17-7 Bama, but there it is. Oh, what a move. And he goes up at the high point, too, to go get it. He bobbled it, no problem. There you go, Milroe. You know what I mean? See, like you get the good Milroe and the bad Milroe. It's like the bad Milroe, you start off going like 0 for 4, 0 for 5, and all you can do is run. And then eventually, you kind of dink and doink and try to be able to get things going. And you're at, I mean, now we're already at halftime, and you look at the stat line, right? And then Carson Beck is 8 for 11 with 85 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. And Jalen Milroe started off, 0 for 4, 0 for 5. Now he's 6 for 12 with 110 yards and 2 TDs and no picks. So just like that, with a snap of a finger, it looks like, oh, Milroe sucks. He can only run. And then you look up at the stat line, he's already got 2 touchdown passes. So good for him. Fizzle in the building. What's good? Fins up. How are you, brother? It's grinding, man. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Basketball, baseball, football, hockey, NASCAR, wrestling, doesn't matter. Your boy is doing it. First down and 10. Beck, little check down, a little shimmy and a little shake. How are you, Pizzle? What's going on with you, brother? Don't be. We didn't deserve it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if we're not the aggressive team, and Washington deserved it. I've said it even at the beginning of the year. Michael Penix Jr. has been my favorite quarterback all season, and even though I had Bo Nix on my own team, you have to be aggressive. We started off with a 3 and out, which was uncharacteristic of the Ducks. We didn't have any running game out of Bucky Irving. So when you get down 20-3 and then 20-10 at half, I knew that most likely we weren't going to come back. So, the best team won. We lost by 3 in the regular season. We lost by 3 again. And I'll be rooting for the Huskies. I'm not a hater, man. I probably am handling the Duck loss better than anyone on planet Earth that is a hardcore Duck fan as we go into halftime here, 17-7 Bama. I've been watching sports since 85, so it's like, I know what it takes to be a champ. And, I felt that this was the first year that maybe a team other than Bama or Georgia could win it all, but, Oregon, Michigan, Washington, but, they still got to go out there and prove it. But I appreciate that, man. Like I said, we'll see what happens. And then now with the bowl game, it's kind of irrelevant because, Bo Nix doesn't have anything else really to prove. So if he plays the bowl game and they lose and he gets hurt, then his stock goes down further. So I don't even know if Bo Nix will play in the bowl game. And honestly, we never win bowl games unless we're like really, really good and we're playing for like the Rose Bowl or the college football playoff or the BCS, or like we have Herbert and we're trying to win a Rose Bowl. But I mean, if we don't have something to play for, we'll play like Brock Purdy and Iowa State and get crushed. So, I mean, that's typically what happens to the Ducks. So I don't assume that we're going to win our bowl game. We'll probably lose. So, all right, 17-7 Bama. Let me know what you want to do for photos for anyone that's in the room just to keep us busy, and then I can throw up some photos here for you. And we got a nice day tomorrow where we're going to do the Eagles and the Niners at 1:25 And then most likely we'll end up doing the Chiefs and the Packers after that. So what else do we got here? So Texas 49, Oklahoma State 21. SMU and Tulane are still knotted up at 7. We got Louisville and Florida State, Michigan, Iowa at 5. Let's take a look at the slate for tomorrow. We got Chargers and Patriots, Cardinals and Steelers, Colts and Titans, Broncos and Texans. Looking forward to that. Lions and Saints. Looking forward to that. Falcons and Jets, Dolphins and Commanders, Panthers, Bucks, Niners, Eagles should be fantastic. Browns, Rams, Chiefs, Packers should be fun too. And then we got Bengals and the Jags. No Joe Burrow, so that one won't be that exciting. But you know, it is what it is. You can't get every Thursday night, Monday night, or Sunday night matchup that's going to be good. All right, I'm going to go check up on Paisley and see what's going on with her, if she's snugging or sleeping. And then if there's anything that you guys want to see photo-wise, let me know. And then hopefully we can get some more likes and potential subs and donos so we can actually make this a successful day, so we can actually feel appreciated and loved and not hated on every single day for a whole year. Hi, Paisley. Hi. Miss you. Here. Here. Go lay down. Okay? Go lay down, take a nap. I'll get you when I'm done. Okay? Go lay down. Take a nap. I'll be done in another hour and a half. Then we'll go on a walk later. Go lay down. Go take a nap. Lay down. Take a nap. Good girl. All right, I'll get you some Iowa photos. What specific players do you want? You got some players you want for me to put up specifically? Well, I plan on having Paisley for a long, long time. So, I mean, I can't imagine my life without her. So, she makes life worth living, I'll tell you. All right, second half coming up pretty soon. All right, Paisley's snugging now after she got a little bit of an early dinner. And then once we finish the second half, then we'll go for another walk and whatnot. So tomorrow, I'm not going to do the Eagles and the Niners. I need to be able to feel, loved and have that appreciation. And I'm not going to spend an hour to 2 hours trying to make a thumbnail, to have minimal to little results. So I'll watch that game, and me and Paisley will watch that. But I'm not gonna end up doing 2 or 3 streams in a day until we get to a point where we actually get the proper appreciation and support. So I'll watch that game. It's going to be amazing. And then I assume that we'll either do Sunday Night Football with the Chiefs and the Packers, or I'll just do reaction videos starting at 2 o'clock. From that time point, I'll have to kind of wait and see how I feel tomorrow, and then we'll go from there. So everything is, if I put good energy in, we got to be able to get good energy back. But if we're not going to get that back, I'm not going to be busting my ass, and putting in so much time, effort, and energy to not get appreciated. So so we're not doing the Eagles and Niners tomorrow. Unfortunate, because I really did want to do that, but not going to do it. Not happening. And then we'll figure out if we do Chiefs Packers for Sunday night, which I do want to watch that game. So, but again, it all depends if I want to just keep on doing reaction videos and go that route or not. But most likely, I could still squeeze in like 2 or 3 reaction videos and then go from there. So, this halftime is going on forever. Uh, Either that or not at all. I mean, like I said, things need to drastically change, based on how things are. And like I said, the goats and the heavy hitters and the mods and the regulars, it just seems like nobody cares and no one listens. So yeah, I'm not gonna, we'll see how I feel tomorrow. And I'll either do reaction videos from like 2 o'clock, 2:30, for the day, or I'll do a couple and then do Sunday Night Football, or we'll just do Sunday Night Football and then I'll do reactions on Monday. So I know my worth and I know who I am and I know how much hard work and talent that I have. And if people fail to realize that, that's on them. And like I said, my time is worth something. So here we go, second half. Yeah, you just got to put yourself into my shoes, with all the things that I do. So, and I imagine you understand. Not a lot of people understand, you know what I mean? But I think out of anybody, yeah, you probably know more the feeling of how things are other than myself. So, play action fake, Beck to Bowers, short game. Second down and 7. Oh, I definitely think Georgia can come back. I think they can come back and win. They're down by 10. That's what Oregon was down by. Georgia is a second half team too, like Oregon. So, they're definitely going to be able to make the proper adjustments. I mean, you got to understand they won the Natty the last 2 years. So, they're going to be very, very well prepared, and they've kind of taken the torch from Alabama. So, yeah, I would definitely say Georgia's going to come out with a lot of energy, and obviously having Lad McConkey get injured and not be 100%, as well as Bowers being a little nicked up, that's going to hurt them a little bit. But again, they just have to be more efficient. And if the defense isn't going to be able to hold like they normally did in the last 2 years, then the offense is going to need to step up, and they have to be stronger than the defense in the second half. They're going to have to be able to put up points. They can still be good, but the offense needs to be much, much better. Gouja. Gouja can come back. Yeah, McConkey is injured. That's huge. If he's not out there and he's injured, I mean that's like having your Julian Edelman for Brady. So it's like you still got the Brady, Gronk type of comparison. Obviously we know that Beck is no Tom Brady or Mahomes, but just having someone reliable that you can throw to at tight end or wide receiver, and that's why they only have 7 points. Because normally at this point, McConkey would have probably already got a touchdown by now. Yeah, but if you weren't my lead mod, you wouldn't understand. And unless you're someone that's going to be consistent, like you and Matt, if you're like, you're here, you're there, then you don't understand. But since you're here pretty much on a daily basis, like I don't like even with Matt, he's here all the time, but I don't think he understands like all the specifics and the things that go down on every stream. So, but we do appreciate the loyalty. The loyalty is everything. Good defense there. Yeah, and it's one thing, it's like not necessarily like anger, you know what I mean? It's more like disappointment and frustration, you know. Back into the end zone. I got some good people in my life. I got Paisley, thank God, because I mean if I didn't, if I didn't have Paisley and if I didn't have good people, I mean, who knows how I would spiral, based on, what happened in 2022 and what's happened in 2023. So it's probably good that I have some good things in my life so that way that I get to a point where I'm not spiraling with, either my mental health or spiraling doing bad things, and maybe like getting back into drinking as heavy as I was and things of that nature. So, not partying and not drinking has been really beneficial. But sometimes you gotta be mentally strong, and having Paisley in my life is definitely you know a godsend. It's a blessing, as well as a few other special people in my life. I mean, that's the only way that you're going to be able to survive, going through the ups and the downs. So, yeah, but I just wish that, the other, people that, if they understood like how much that they are hurting the overall channel with, not being here or not at least stopping by, you know what I mean? Like they don't realize like the effect. It's like it's one thing if we have hundreds or thousands in the room and a few of the people they come, they go, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But if we get to a point where we're limited, it's like every person matters even more than they did last year, like 10 times more, but if you don't realize that or you don't care, then, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to care because you don't care. Like, you know, I'm supposed to go out of my way still, you know, it's a two-way street. So I guess it just depends if you can think about someone other than yourself, or if you can think about other people. Facts. First down and 10, shotgun set, little short game. Third down and 8, shotgun set. Milroe going long, going deep, and complete in between two wide receivers. Incomplete. Fourth down and 8. We're going to commercial break. No, I think that I think if Georgia loses, they go down more than one spot. They go down 2 spots, I think, in my opinion, you know, if they lose. Oh, baby, big catch. Because at that point, if Michigan wins, then Michigan would be 1, Washington would move up to 2, and then, maybe, Georgia's 3, and then Bama 4, but it also depends on Florida State later, but I would assume they would drop 2 spots. I mean, I guess if they dropped 1 spot and it went Michigan, Georgia, Washington, Texas, or something like that, that could also be a possibility, 1 or 2 spots. I guess it just depends on how much they lose by. You know, if it's a big number, then maybe 2 spots. If they lose by 3 or less, then, you know, maybe 1 spot. You know, the committee will be looking at a lot of that information. Or like Bama beats Georgia and they still don't get into the playoff. Um, I mean, like I said, you're always going to have like 4, 5, 6, 7 teams that deserve to be in there or should be at least considered, right? And then there's always going to be one that doesn't belong. Always going to be an undefeated team from like the ACC or like a Florida State or whatever, you know, and you know, and they don't belong with the other top 7 or 8 teams. They may be undefeated, but you're undefeated against fucking Georgia Southern, Troy, Akron. Those don't fucking count, you know? So we'll see, but that's the issue that you have when you have over 100 Division One teams and you only have 4 teams in the playoff. You know, you need to be doing a playoff structure 8, 12, 16. You know, they only care about money. They don't care about people, you know. They don't care. You know, they don't care about the students. They don't care about their education. They care about profiting on these people. And then when the boosters would give them cash or give them vehicles and give them money, they would get pissed, right? And whatnot, while they're just stealing all the money, all the jersey sales, all that. So at least we have NIL stuff now where some of these players can, at least the good ones, can make money off who they are and their name, and you know they can get something before they make their millions before they go to the NFL. Now, is everyone going to get an NIL deal? No, it's only going to be for like the best of the best, or if you're good looking and it's marketable, right? You know, it's like if you're good looking and you're marketable, you know, that could also be something that they could profit on as well. All right, Georgia. Yeah, but that doesn't matter, Ryan. The stuff in the regular season at that point, they don't go back to that, you know, as much as you would think. In years past, that win would have meant something, but Texas won. But now we have to see what Florida State did. You know what I mean? So I mean, they would have issues there because, like I said, even though Texas won the Big 12, if Georgia loses, you would assume Georgia and Alabama are going to be in. Texas won't, and then Michigan and Washington would be the other 2 teams. You know, you can only have so many teams, and that's why there's always going to be a conversation because there's always going to be 5, 6, 7 teams that deserve to be in that 4, you know, and that 4 hole, but they're not going to be able to make everyone happy. And definitely that number 5 team has an issue to be pissed. So it's like if that number 5 team ends up being Texas and they won the Big 12 and Quinn Ewers looks great, but then they decide to go, you know, with Florida State, Washington, Michigan, and Alabama or Georgia, excuse me, or if they go Georgia, Bama, Michigan, Washington, then Texas is just going to be left out. You know, that's just unfortunate, but there's always going to be that other team that deserves it. So nice to see some consistency out of some people. I almost forgot what that was, but that goes a long ways in my book, you know, compared to other people. So 'cause I notice everything. I'm gonna go get my drink here real quick. I got my drink. McKinstry. I mean, could you imagine Texas won against what, Oklahoma State, right? Imagine Bama beating Georgia, right? And both Texas and Bama, right, are not available to get in, and then they put Florida State undefeated in. Imagine if they went that route. But again, we're going to have teams moving up and moving down, so you're going to get some that deserve it, and there's always going to be one that doesn't, which is Florida State. Every year we have one that doesn't deserve it, and then in the committee every time they always put that team in there, and most of the time they get fucking obliterated. They're like, oh, 12-0, 13-0, but who did you play? And some of these teams are playing like 7, 8, top 25 teams in the year out of like 12 games. And then you get one team that's undefeated that maybe played one team that was ranked, maybe. And then they're like, oh, I guess, well, they're undefeated. They're undefeated. But the wins have to mean something, and who they're against and by how much and how did they look. Like you actually have to watch all the games, and you can tell the committee does not watch every game, like every single one. Oh, incomplete. I mean, the only way to really tell a true story about any game, is if you watch it from beginning to end. The narrative on an ESPN or Instagram, on an Insta post or Twitter X, and you're watching even a condensed highlight package that is either on YouTube that's 10 to 15 minutes of a whole game, or a 2-minute flashbang highlight reel, that doesn't tell the full story of the game. And again, a lot of these people, they take cut corners because they're lazy and they don't want to go through and watch, and then they'll just do it based on the opinions of other people, or a vague point of view based off cutting corners. 4th down and 7, kick is up, and it's good. 17-10, Bama. Yeah, I mean the Texas win against Alabama, it was awesome, to be able to see that, but there's just so many other factors and things that are going on with all these other teams that are kind of ahead of them right now. So it's like sometimes those things you think would, and also too, Texas beating Alabama doesn't mean as much this year as it did in the years past. If they would have beaten an Alabama team that was like a champion, like an undefeated team, like a team that actually could win it all, nobody thinks this Alabama team can win it all, right? But like, it's different when that Saban team was winning championships. You beat a team then, like when Johnny Football did it against Bama, that meant something. But when you see it in that way, but it's like Texas beating Bama, it was just clear Texas was a better team. It's not like Bama was a natty contender, top, and then they got beat. Like, oh my God, how did that happen? Like, oh wow, it's like that's how you felt with Johnny Football and Mike Evans at A&M beating Bama. But this year, if you beat Bama, it didn't really mean anything. Unfortunately, that's just the truth. But you would only know that if you watched all the games in college football. All right, now we got ourselves a game finally. Same kind of thing when the Oregon game was like 24-20. We finally got a game at that point. It took a while to get there, though. Oh, Boise State, rumbling and a bumbling. Go, go, go. blue helmets, blue jerseys, blue pants, blue shoes, blue undies, touchdown, Broncos. All right, here we go. 17-10 Bama. Kick back into the end zone. 8:51 left in the third quarter. Yeah. But Bama is playing good today. So normally regular season Bama, they can't hang, with a lot of these top teams. But today, Saban got them up for this game, just like Washington, DeBoa. They were supposed to lose by 9.5 and they were undefeated, and they beat the team Oregon that they, beat earlier by 3. So that's what makes you kind of wonder, it's like they did that to make money, on the betting line and whatnot. And everyone just assumed because Oregon played so good for about 6 weeks. And, obviously Washington struggled, in the last month. But again, sometimes you get up for the biggest matchups. So you might end up playing a lower team and you might look not as good, like when Washington and Oregon State played in the rain. Obviously the rain was a factor, but some people want to neglect that, right? But anytime you do Georgia Bama, record goes out the window. You're always going to get an A+, natty effort in the game as if this is the natty. And so for Bama to be playing this good, I'm not surprised. Because think about it. I mean, this game means more to every kid and every person out there than any other game in the regular season. Because I don't think anyone thought, Washington had some issues with defense and the running game and the O-line and guys came back from injury. They got McMillan back. That helped. He could be an NFL receiver. They got some key defensive pieces back. Dylan Johnson was aggressive. Nice catch right there down the sideline. You got balls. Damn, Burton. But it's just nice to be able to see people step up. The greats are able to do it every game, and then some of these guys will just get up for that one big matchup. It happens in sports all the time. You always play better against your rivals because you fucking hate them, right? And you want to be able to get that bragging rights and get that dub. And there's a lot on the line when you match up. Legacies. First down and 10. Halfback toss. It just kind of sucks because I think when we watch these games, like every other matchup, but also Ohio State and Michigan, the defenses are so good when Ohio State and Michigan play, and when Alabama and Georgia play, you never get any really good running game. Like the running game is like for both teams is very minimal. Like you hope you get like one of those guys that goes off for like 150 yards and 3 tutties, but it's like Alabama, Georgia, NFL everywhere on defense. Ohio State and Michigan, same thing. That you're surprised when a running back gets more than 2 touchdowns. It's just pretty rare. Unless we're talking about a guy getting goal line looks. Wow, what a tackle on the shoulders. Oh, my. They're going to give a horse collar? That should be picked up. He said, Schumann going to be a head coach one day. I don't think that's a penalty. Pick that up. How is that a penalty? Horse collar. Grabbed him on the shoulders. That was not a horse collar. That's minimal. He said abrupt. I mean, it's like the no fun league. Like every single thing gets so magnified where it's like they make like so many things like not fun. If they're college football in the NFL, they protect the quarterbacks way too mumuch. And I get it, CTE is real. I mean, some of these guys will have fucking brain damage, and then they'll lose themselves after football because they don't have a routine. Some of these people end up not being with us anymore after a few years, through the CTE and the depression or alcohol abuse or, whatever substance abuse that they, I get it, man. Like, but come on. We got to let football players play. They take the risk and they know what they're doing. They get the money, they get the fame, but again, CTE and brain damage and shit is real. And, sometimes like these penalties need to be picked up. And especially if it's going to dictate the game, too. Low snap there, play action fake. Blitz coming off the edge. Milroe going deep. Got a man. One-handed grab, incomplete. Ohio State's got like 0% chance. Third down and 4. Shotgun set. Milroe. Uh-oh, look at that speed. It's like a Micah Parsons out there. Now he says he's not down. He's still running. How are you? Okay, hold up. All right, so when you're going to go on the ground and you have to see if his knee hit or not, right? If the play is blown dead, I'm looking at the replay right now. Hold up. Let me see if his leg was down. I don't think his leg was down. Same. Or they're looking at the knees, but what about the hand and the elbow? Yeah, he's down. Sack lunch. So then you know what time it is? Time for sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. But then they like extend the play and they don't blow the whistles like frequently. Like, how are you going to let the guy run around for another 15 yards and then be like, oh, maybe we should blow the whistle now? 4th and 16. So you got the booty horse collar play. Was his right hand inside the horse collar? Yeah, but it wasn't like a violent horse collar. Like, he was kind of like on the pads. Like, how are you supposed to dig your fingers in? Like, how are you supposed to tackle someone with your fingers flat on the shoulder pads, unless it's like momentum? Like, you're gonna have to like grip somewhere. So, I mean, I've seen, horse collars that are violent, just like helmets getting twisted to the side or ripped off a face, right? And we know what penalties are. And, that definitely is one that could just be like, let's pick it up. That was pretty clean. That was a pretty clean tackle. That wasn't malicious. That wasn't trying to hurt the player. It wasn't like, blatantly like trying to RKO him or F5 him. It's like you tackled him and it was pretty just, clean. It wasn't crazy. So that's why people get frustrated with college football, is because they think it's rigged because of plays like that. And we all know that referees in all sports, they're going to cheat, some of them, or try to. They're going to try to affect the game without looking like they're affecting the game. But essentially, anything that's a penalty is affecting the game. And then, later in the game that you call it, that's a 50-50 call. Those are the things that help people win money in spreads in Vegas and the casinos and the gangstas, and it's like casino. So, I mean, I imagine most of the refs are going to be on the up and up with sports. But yeah, there definitely is going to be people trying to push the boundaries. I mean, shit, they've been doing that in college basketball. That's where they first kind of got exploited, 70s and 80s. So, but I don't think it happens as often as people on the internet want to claim. But again, nobody really truly knows. 2nd down and 10. Shotgun set. And it's kind of crazy, too, because the way that sports betting works, right, and the way that these calls are so 50-50, even when the footage is 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, 90-10, or even 95-5, where you're like, yep, that's a penalty, right? And then something could be as clear as 95% yes, 5% no, and then it ends up being the no. Right. So when that happens, then you never know what's going to happen in a play. You can be 100% sure, and then it goes the other way. And then your whole logic and your whole like moral standard of football, like calls and penalties is out of the window. What you think is right is wrong sometimes, and what you think is wrong is right because it's all up to the referee and the perception of that ref. And then even they're like, oh, we're going to go to New York, or oh, we're going to ask these other refs, or no one is ever really going to fully agree. And then if we do and they do the opposite, then there's no accountability. And then so pretty much they can dictate games to a certain degree. 17-10 Bama. Flag on the play. Ball start, number 19. Bulldogs. All right, you're down. See, if it's me and I'm coaching the team and I'm on the roster, obviously Brock Bowers is the best player. Get him involved as a blocker. Move him in motion. And like I said, don't abandon the run. You want to make sure that you're still running the football, and you want to make sure you're fumble. Alabama. Uh-oh. Big key turnover. They got cute trying to end up doing a little trick reverse. They didn't have a good connection there with the handoff. And now you give the ball to Alabama and that Uncle Mo, and it shows you Oregon and Georgia can be favored, right? But the team that is the most aggressive and the smartest and the well coached, which would be Washington and possibly Alabama, Nick Saban, you can't afford to have a turnover like that. And you know that Alabama's scoring a touchdown on this drive, not a field goal. Because when you have something like that happen, what happens is you got punched in the heart. You got punched in the eye. You got knocked out, and you have to gain your composure. You're not going to be able to gain your composure here in the next 5 minutes after that play. So all the momentum goes super heavy Bama, not because you feel it and the crowd is there. You just based off, even if they were on the 30 or the 20, it just feels like, okay, here we are, Uncle Mo, and this is how Uncle Mo works. But Georgia's defense is very stout. They're going to do everything they can, but it kind of feels like inevitable 24-10. Reflect in the building. Michael Penix Jr. He's the man. Sports gods. Like, I literally am taking the Oregon loss better than anyone on planet Earth as a hardcore fanatic Duck fan. Like, most people are still mad. Everyone else on planet Earth that's a Duck fan is, very sad, disappointed, upset, but, when you've been watching football, for 35 to 30, 35 plus years, you've seen it all, and the best team won twice. That's the way it's supposed to be. Just like when Oregon did it when we went to the Natty with Chip Kelly. We won every game. We handled the business like that, and then we were the only two teams to handle the business. And sometimes a comeback story is worth more. Michael Penix Jr. 4 straight years with season-ending injuries, couple ACL tears, and then transfers from Indiana to Washington, and then boom, great year last year, capping it off the way that Bo Nix wanted to cap off, his last year, being 24. He's almost, going to be an old school vet after like 4 years, where he's already going to be almost approaching 30. So he's a little old, right? But great win, man. Incomplete. But it shows, like, even you reflect, and even the Washington fans, if your defense is healthy and you don't abandon the run and you have that balance, your guys can win the championship, because like I said, it's all about making sure, you're getting Johnson to get you 80 to 100. And if he does, and you keep going to him a lot, then those big splash plays with Rome and Jalen are just going to come so easy because they're going to know they have to keep things on it. So kick is up and it's good. I'm surprised they held them to 3 there. It felt like a tutty. Good defense by Georgia. They're like, we have to hang on, because if we give up the tutty there, the game is probably 90% over. Now you're down by 10. Still looks bad, but you still probably have a 40% chance to tie it, and then probably a 10% chance to win it in regulation, but you never know. 14 to 17 points can happen, in a quarter. We've seen it before. 20-0, amazing story, and all the Duck fans, it's like, you have to understand, you can't play good, for three, fourths of the season. You have to make sure even one half, that 1 or 2 quarters, play great all year, elite all year, battle it out, lose by 3 the first time, right? But you have to keep your foot on the pedal. And if that foot goes off the pedal and you're just fucking coasting, and going through the motions, even for as little as a quarter or two, and you're playing someone as good as you're done. And sometimes you have to learn that the hard way that, you know, what you guys did is what we usually do. And who was better at the O line and D line? It's very clear. And the defense. Like I said, it was like that Washington defense that I knew was always there, but the injuries, but the haters and the idiots that don't know Washington football, didn't realize like McMillan was out or the defensive key guys, the studs were out. Of course, any defense or any position group that doesn't have 2 or 3 of their best players playing. Remember, it's 11 on 11. You got 3 defensive guys out. You don't think that's going to make a difference? And we saw it last night. So no other Oregon fan on planet Earth is rooting for Washington, but I am rooting for Washington to win it all. Are they going to do it? Probably not. But I want the Pac-12 to represent, and I love Michael Penix Jr., but it's just like having either Michigan or Washington represent would mean everything to me, to have someone other than the SEC. So that way that we can change the narrative. And how cool would it be to be the first team to say, look at me, I changed the narrative. No longer SEC, Georgia, Bama, maybe Washington. And then that will give hope to Oregon or Michigan. And then Ohio State says, yes, our turn. We're going to do it next. And then that's great for college football. So that way it's not only like automatic, like, oh, we have a great year. What bowl game are we going to? Like, oh, this team's winning the Natty. So the only thing we can pray for is Rose Bowl or third place game or whatever bullshit toilet bowl they're going to. Mr. Clean, right? It's cool to be able to see these other teams come up. So instead of hating on them, why don't we embrace them? But again, it's the hater mentality and the rivalry mentality. For me, I just love greatness, and that's what separates me and makes me different. And I can just call it, more in a genuine, loving manner, just loving, the greatness. But again, I'm a rare breed, and I can enjoy it from afar, looking at everyone, and I don't even have to have any special treatment or bias, towards my own team. I kind of just look at everybody equal, and I see greatness equally, like I call it I call it how I see it. So, and as great as Bo Nix is, I still think Michael Penix Jr. is going to be the better pro. And it's all about how you see talent, evaluate talent. There's certain guys that make me nervous, Bo Nix and Caleb Williams, and then there's guys that I have a little bit more confidence in, like Michael Penix Jr. and like Quinn Ewers. Certain guys are a little bit more, Drake May. It's like you just feel that maybe they have more of the tools, ready to be able to do the NFL stress. Some guys are going to be able to handle it better. And completion percentage and decision making is everything. So, some guys are smarter than others. I'm not saying all the top end QBs are dum-dums and stupid. Of course, if you're going to be in a college offense, you're going to be pretty smart. But going in NFL is, But I'm doing good. Like after I took my walk, green apple hoodie, the sweats, the shoes, like, I'm going to rep Ducks because I rep them all year. It's not, I mean, if I was just so, the way that you rock this is how you determine like a hardcore fan compared to like, average fans, bandwagon fans, right? Can you wear your gear after a loss or a big loss and wear it just like you won? And once you get to that point where you can rock it proudly, even when the losses, you get punched in the eye, you get knocked out, but you get up and you can wear the gear as if you won, same type of thing, that takes your fandom to another level, Of course, the loss stings, you know what I mean? But it's like, how much do you love your team? And you know what I mean? And you can rock the gear after a loss. Anybody can rock the gear at work the next day or in front of your friends after a big win. But rocking your gear after a big, big loss, the bigger the loss, and you can still rock the gear, I mean, it puts your fandom in another level, in my opinion, because I know what other hardcore fans are like. And sometimes it hurts even putting it on. You're like, damn it. It's like, what happened? But it's like, that's who you are. That's your identity. You got to go through the good, the bad, and the ugly, and everyone can root for you and everyone can cheer for you. Of course, when you're at the top, everyone's kissing your ass, and you've hit the mountain, and you got the followers, and you got the fans, and you got. But it's like when you're at your lowest point, the lowest, right? How do you respond? How do you react? Just like in life, you know what I'm saying? That's really what you can dictate character from different people in life, and you can see like the elite people in life, the people that have empathy and sympathy, the people that connect with other people, the great coaches out there, these people, like, there's a reason why motivators and these like coaches like make these players elite, not only on the field, but off the field. And those are our best players to ever play on this planet Earth, like preparation. Like you get these guys like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, it didn't just happen overnight. Big Penix energy. Yeah. I'm definitely, and like I said, I'm going to continue to rock the gear, but there is, if you're a fan long enough and you know what it takes to be a champion on any level on any of your teams, you understand that like the minimal errors that you can get away with in the regular season, you can't get away with it, for even a quarter or two against someone that's just as good as you, and if that's the case and you don't have the foot on the pedal and you don't, like we went 3 and out, the writing was on the wall. We said, uh-oh, right off the gate. I know I did. I was, I was like, we lost by 3, and then, the whole 9.5 spread, but again, you got your players back. And when you guys have McMillan and key guys on defense back, that's the Washington undefeated team. But we didn't see that. You were scraping by, getting wins with guys hurt. So the perception was that you were just not as good because they were dumb and they don't know that your guys were hurt. That's the national perception. You actually have to watch them and know information and read. And then, the players came back. They were healthy. Not only that, rivalry game against Oregon, they brought their natty Super Bowl performance. They were the aggressive team, which Oregon normally was. They got running game out of Johnson. We didn't with Bucky. And boom, shakalaka, Michael Penix Jr. had himself a day. And so, that's what happens, right? The best players are going to perform in the best moments. And as great as Bo Nix is, and he's my quarterback, Michael Penix Jr. is better. But again, if you're blinded just by the Husky purple and the green apple, it's either you see it or you don't. Yes, the completion percentage, is better for Bo Nix. Yes, I get that. But who's going to be a better NFL quarterback without bias? You know what I mean? If you're Oregon and keep saying Bo and you're not giving credit, then you're not a very good evaluator of talent. And most people are blinded by the players and colors of what they see. But if you can see talent from a full spectrum and see big play ability, lefty, smooth, harder to game plan, and also mentally has it up here. Like I said, is there still improvement in completion percentage and making the NFL throws? Yes, but again, he's more destined for greatness and success, easier that you would assume, than some of these other guys. So, and usually if that's the case, then that top tier usually steps up to the cream of the crop, right? The cream always rises to the crop. That's what Macho Man told me when I was growing up, right? He told me, grown men cry, he said. I'm a macho man. Oh, yeah. Okay? I'm happy for him, right? And like I said, I knew the sports gods were listening, so it's almost packed. But you want to be able to have the best players succeed in the big, big moments and have them have – I want it – honestly, and this is me being like totally legit, I want Michael Penix Jr., if it was me and I'm in charge of the sports gods, I want him to be the next Steve Young. That's how good I want him to be. I want him to be the next Steve Young. That's asking a lot. Pretty much saying he's going to be the best left-handed player in this generation. From the previous 10 years to from now 10 years forward, like the generational lefty. Like someone that's not just a guy like a Scotty Mitchell or a Ken Anderson. Even guys like Boomer Esiason, he was pretty good, right? Obviously, much better than most of the other names. Michael Vick, Tua. But how about the next superstar, but he's a lefty and he's a top 10 quarterback? That's what I want. So, but I'm probably the only Oregon fan that wants that, and I just want to see these guys have greatness. So if that means that Bo Nix and Caleb Williams don't pan out and they just are above average, but Michael Penix Jr. pans out, Drake May pans out, maybe Quinn Ewers pans out. I mean, you're not going to get everybody. So, DeBoa, give him credit. Coaching, but again, there's so much bias and whatnot, but it's always kind of cool. That's why certain people on this channel connect with other people on the channel because, if you have more empathy and sympathy than the average person, you're going to do really well on this channel. You know what I mean? If you can actually visualize and put yourself in other people's shoes in situations, if you can actually do that, it takes you to another level on the channel for sure. Yeah, but again, most people would not know that information, and they just try to. People only want to put information into the forefront in front of their friends and peers when it matters to them. But if it's something that comes back, it's like don't want to acknowledge something. Well, they want to acknowledge what they want to acknowledge. They think is important and stuff. So, but I mean, McMillan coming back was the MVP. Because you had someone that they can't double roam. If you do single coverage, you're getting torched, right? Troy got banged up, so we didn't have the same thing. Yeah, we got Fergie to come in and get some amazing catches and get those tutties. But normally it's a combination, but mostly Troy's the guy. So it's a lot of factors that played in, but there's no excuses. You didn't execute in that first half. That was one of the worst first halves as far as execution. But is it the Ducks' fault? No, it's the Huskies played elite. That's why it happened. It wasn't because, like the Ducks could have put out their number one effort, and I still think the Huskies that energy was there. That you weren't gonna, no matter how good Bo, if they call different plays, I still think that the same result happens. That was meant to be to kind of foreshadow that there's someone coming here that we need to pay attention to, and and again, if I'm biased, I'm like Bo Nix is the best player. Bo Nix is the Heisman. Oregon Ducks. Fuck everybody else. No one is. You got to look at it from a bigger point of view. Right. Everything, that we normally do, you guys do. And that had to have been the coaching for DeBoer. Like, listen, we need to be elite here. We haven't been all year. We need to be elite here. We need to punch them in the mouth. All right. We're the undefeated team, not them. We beat them by 3. 9.5. Bullshit. Right? Go in there and bring that fucking energy. And then you get all those guys fucking lit up and juiced up and you throw all that information. They know that information. You don't think you came in more motivated? Oregon came in acting like it was already done, right? Washington came in and said, no, it's us. And that was the difference. So it's sometimes you got to have a coach that understands how to get the most out of their players. And sometimes the writing is on the wall, and then if you magnify it in the right tone, in the right words, then you get even more energy. And that's the difference in the game. Oregon has a better first half. We win the game because, we were already going to make those second half adjustments. So I'm happy for Michael, though. Like I told you, I liked him better than Bo all year. And, yeah, Bo's stats were better, but, again, I feel that one's going to be a better NFL quarterback. I'll be rooting for you. You're my number one now. I'm rooting Huskies to win the Natty, me. But now, depending on what happens in this game, right, you would think it would be, Alabama, Texas, Washington. There's just going to be it'll shake things up, and it's like, can you boot Georgia out of the top 4 if they lose this game, or are they still in? Do they go down 1 spot, 2 spot, 3 spots out? Like I couldn't see a scenario where they said, well, they won the 2 natties and they played their rival and they're undefeated, and then we drop. And so so both SEC teams would have to be in logically, and then Michigan and Washington. That's what you would get. That's what I would assume. Then Michigan would go to 1, right? And then you can have Washington at 2 or 3, depending on if you want to drop Georgia 1 or 2 spots, and then Alabama's in at 4. You can't just have Alabama beat a number 1 team and then leave them out, can you? But I guess we'll find out if they think that's more important than Texas beating Oklahoma State and their wins, or Florida State being undefeated, which I feel that game will be rigged for Louisville to win the game. Uh-oh, here's Georgia. Oh, he got bamboozled. Wow. That was a pop. Good thing he hung on to that football. Yeah, but the thing is also, too, that most Duck fans don't realize, Bo Nix is 24 years old. That's extremely old. That's like for a quarterback that has already been in the NFL for 3 or 4 years. So you only have a short window with him, and he's going to need supporting cast and the right coach and the right people around him. He can't do it by himself. There's going to be guys that are going to be more NFL ready, like Quinn Ewers, Drake May, and Michael Penix Jr., where it's the extra intangibles. I think he's a very smart kid. I think he's got a lot going for him, and I think he could pan out. But there is kind of a risk there with him and Caleb, just based on two different things. Caleb with the completion percentage, and Bo just making sure that he has a good O line. Because if Bo doesn't have a good O line, he turns into a Desmond Ridder. That's what he is. Right? Desmond Ridder, sometimes good, sometimes not so good, but he was a top 4 quarterback. They made the playoff with Sauce Gardner, right? Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Like, if you're going to be a wishy-washy, sometimes good, sometimes bad, and not a generational player that Michael Penix Jr. could be, that's the difference that I see. A lot of people see close or one's better than the other, but you also have to look at NFL game, NFL play calling, mentally. How do they talk? How do they act? How do you know their backstory? And then also you can be perfect in everything, kind of like a Bo Nix, but then sometimes that it factor. Is it going to carry over from college to NFL? And sometimes you think it's going to Marcus Mariota, and then it just doesn't. If you look at Marcus Mariota, he was more dynamic with his running for touchdowns and throwing, and I feel it was a little bit up higher than Bo. And even Mariota didn't pan out. So it's like Herbert is probably the best one, but it's like bad coaching and throws a lot of picks. He needs help. Incomplete. There's a flag. But Herbert could still be up there with like Dan Fouts and those other guys, but it shows you Herbert even is like a top 5 talent, but he's more of a top 10 lower kind of, not number 4, number 5, like, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's further down. He's named, he's popular, not Keenan Allen and Eckler, but it's like his decision making. He needs better coaching if he ever wants to be considered top 3 ever in his career or even top 5. But he has that ability, but if he doesn't get coached up, it's never going to take it to the next level. Same thing with Dak. Same thing with the Cowboys and the Chargers. It's like you got some talent there, but no one is ever going to give you the full credit, unless the coaching gets upgraded. And let's see what kind of coaching that we get here with Georgia and Bama. 20-10, Georgia. You feel that Uncle Mo. You feel that momentum shifting. Now, if McConkey is 100%, there is no way that they are down by 10 at this point. Beck? Let's go, lad. Your boy knew. Let's go. Sometimes it's energy. You can feel where the ball is going to go. He's the Edelman to this team. He's everywhere. He can play outside. He can play in the slot. He's got good hands. Sneak, not touchdown, Georgia. Okay. I know this is going to be crazy to sound, and obviously, I could be a Duck fan. I think Michael Penix Jr. is going to be better than Justin Herbert and Geno Smith. I do. Maybe not right away, first year. I got to see where he goes. What supporting cast, if the coaching is there. But I feel that in the right situation, he could be better than Drake May, better than Caleb, better than Bo, better than even Quinn Ewers. I think that he has a chance to be the best out of the group. And I wouldn't say that. The only thing, and like I said, this is going to happen because it's just, the sports gods, ESP, right? The only thing that's going to derail Michael Penix Jr. from being the best quarterback in the draft class is Michael Penix Jr. and his health. That's the only thing. Can he stay healthy? If he can, he's got the mind, the body, and the arm, and the right supporting cast and family and structure, friends. Like, I feel that he's in position to be the best. The only thing that's going to happen is if he gets hurt, ACL tear, Achilles, something like that, that's going to be the only thing that we'll ever say about the kid's career. So if he can keep that minimal, then I think that he's got a chance, because I think as far as skill set, Drake May, they don't got a whole lot of talent there in the ACC, but he's got NFL qualities. That's why he's projected higher than certain guys. It feels a little bit more mature than his age, but there's a chance that he may not pan out either. So we will find out. Yeah, and the thing is also what makes a lefty deadly is that you have to understand coaching, that if there's only one NFL quarterback that's left, you're practicing for righties the whole time. Your strategy is always righties. So then when you get the lefty back there and they got athleticism like Tua, people want to shit on his game. Yeah, they got Waddle. Yeah, they got Tyreek. But even if you had guys lower than that, Tua would be able to make the plays because everything is, not going to be a right-handed quarterback with a left tackle that's the most important in the center. It's opposite. It's a left-handed quarterback. The right tackle now is the left tackle in the opposite scenario. Right tackle needs to be the best player, and then you got Tua, and you want to have a good center, and then you're going to get more plays. So if Michael Penix Jr. can be like Tua, but I think he'll be better, and then you will get that in the NFC. That will be very exciting, and then hopefully the next lefty down the road can be above average. So, it's like you got guys out there like the, Tuas and the Michael Vicks, and that's all great and all. But why do we have to limit him being Michael Vick or Tua? Why can't I say Steve Young? Why can't I say like around that Steve Young level? It's asking a lot. But at some point, a quarterback has to be a lefty and be considered more than just popular or shit on or hated on, or only can go so far. Let's take the lefty quarterback right up there with all the righties. Michael Penix Jr. is the lefty. C.J. Stroud is the righty. Why not? Trying to talk this shit into existence. You feel me? C.J. Stroud on the righty. That's the future. Exciting, right? Something good's happening down in that future. And then we need a lefty version. That's my vision. But again, if he goes to a shitty squad, shitty coaching, shitty O-line, shitty, then Michael Penix Jr. won't pan out right away, and maybe not at all. So like I said, we got a lot of these quarterbacks, but the Caleb Williams thing, like being a number one pick, fine. But you are very worried if you pick him number one because a lot of the teams right now, like the situations aren't good. Cardinals, not a good situation. Bears, dumpster fire. Patriots, you got Billy B, Drake May. That's the natural fit. That would work. And then, you're thinking the Giants. So I think to me, whoever picks a quarterback that gets to the Giants, that guy's going to end up leading the pack because they have Saquon, even though he stays healthy every other year. But you got Kayvon Thibodeau on the other side, Daboll. Like you go to the Giants, the media is going to fucking rip you apart. But if you got swagger and you're good, and like Michael Penix Jr. ends up on the Giants, you watch out. And that Eli Manning kind of vibe. You might not have to be the best quarterback, but if you're in the right system, even Eli Manning turned his career into half and half Hall of Fame. Maybe I deserve it, maybe I don't. I'm good one year, I'm bad one year. Hey, but I got 2 Super Bowls against Brady. Should I be in? Most of us say fuck no, right? But there's going to be Giant fans and other people saying, well, 2 Super Bowls against Tom Brady, and some people are going to say, yeah, he's in barely. So, everyone's got a sports perspective there. Is there a right or wrong answer? No, not really. It's not definitive. Handoff up the middle. 2017 big hole, gain of about 9 or 10. This game is getting good. And me being a Duck fan saying that I'm supposed to be biased, right? I'm supposed to say, I'm supposed to say Bo Nix. Troy Franklin's better than Rome. Bo's much better. But, you have to evaluate tape as a whole. If you're only watching your team and your division, you're clouded. You have to be able to watch more. So that way you can compare and see, can you do it in different schemes? Like, is the kid smart? Can they stay healthy and are they special? Do they have the it factor? Lots of guys can be elite in college and then just hit the ceiling and not get any better. Marcus Mariota, I'm a Duck fan, but it's real. Jameis Winston, it's like, look at me. Famous Jameis, crab legs, right? But it's like, even if he didn't go to Tampa and Mariota went to Tampa, none of those guys were going to pan out. Didn't matter what team they ended on. You capped out at college, and that was it. Jameis, you're a pick machine. Still exciting, though. Would probably be better with him and Taysom Hill over Carr if you watch Saints games. And then, Mariota just gets injured too much. So it's like you lose your opportunity when you have a reputation of just getting hurt, which is a damn shame. But sometimes you have greatness in college, and sometimes that's where it stops and ends, and that's hard for people to stomach. Like everyone wants to be a college legend in their town and an NFL legend. You don't want to be known as like, for me, it's like, DeAnthony Thomas, Black Mamba, LaMichael James. Those people are like, those guys are busters. But for us here, like in Oregon, those guys are legends, and we will treat them as if they were NFL royalty, and we do that for all our college players that didn't pan out in the NFL that we have mad love for. DeAnthony Thomas changed the game in Oregon. So did LaMichael. They are goats. I rock their jerseys all the time. Second down and 6. 2017 Alabama. You just got to make sure if you're good at something, you're as good at something for as long as you can, because you never know when it's going to run out. Milroe, handoff. Georgia, little double tackle there. 2017 Alabama. Andrew Thomas. And that was dumb for them to draft Andrew Thomas. If the Giants were smart, they would have drafted Tristan Wirfs. But again, sometimes people know how to evaluate talent, and sometimes people do not. 3rd down and 2. Shotgun set. Milroe. Pump fake. Get rid of it. Get the fuck out of here with the shovel, the bond. 1st down, Bama. Yeah, elephant's coming out for that one. Okay. All right. But the thing is, reflect too, as you know, with the Giants, they only go as Saquon goes. Saquon has a healthy season. They're probably a wild card team. If he gets hurt at any point of the season or multiple times, you're fucked. And you're probably winning like 4 or 5 games, because the team does not have enough. They're thin everywhere. They need a hell of a lot of help at wide receiver, tight end, another running back that could, be there for insurance. Offensive line, even though they have names, could be better. Go, 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 go. Touchdown, Alabama. Roll Tide. Look at me, they said. They said, bye. Bye, Georgia. We're making this college football playoff interesting, they said. So now we go Michigan 1, Georgia 2, Washington 3, Alabama 4, and then Texas, fuck my life. Quinn Ewers, at least you got a quarterback that's badass, and you got Arch Manning. So, quit your bitching. Texas is coming, hook 'em horns, all right. Little, McConaughey, they're fun to watch though. And then when they go to the SEC, they're going to have success. It'll be exciting that the day comes that Texas wins the SEC over Georgia and Bama. And when that happens, then college football is taking that next step. Now they're doing the quick review here. But I'm spitting the game. You just have to be able to pick up what I'm putting down. Yeah, but going in, if you're a real hardcore Duck fan, when you got obliterated by Utah in that game, I already knew we were going to get obliterated again. Like, you just have to like sometimes you can figure, game plan, game flow, injuries, look at disadvantages, advantages. Sometimes the opposite happens. We think this is going to happen, and then, we think we're going to play like Washington, but they play how the Ducks typically play. But everything is won based off aggressive play and winning the line of scrimmage, and Washington did all 3. Under review. Oh, he's done. He's done. Yeah, it happens every year, though, Hybrid. If you've been watching college football, that number 5 team has a valid case, because sometimes we have that one bullshit team that's ranked from 1 through 8 that's undefeated, who could be like Florida State. Look at me. I'm 13-0. But every other team in the top 8 would obliterate them. Everyone knows it. Even if their quarterback, Travis, didn't get hurt, it doesn't matter. You're getting obliterated. You're good, but you've been playing a bunch of scrubs in the ACC. Like, the Pac-12 is hella strong. There's some in the Big 12, lots of SEC and Big 10. Ohio State, Michigan, Bama, Georgia. Now you got Oregon and Washington. Oh, look, it's a little bit deeper. Not used to having these Pac-12 teams be as on the same level as the Big 10 elites and the SEC elites. So no excuses, man. We lost, man. We lost. A real man that's an Oregon fan can say, you know what? I'm going to be rooting for that Michael Penix Jr. I see the greatness. I see the vision. A little tush push, Crimson style. I don't think he got in. This game is over. Alabama won. Not enough time in this 4th quarter to make the comeback. I mean, I guess never say never until the fat lady sings, but based off time left, I mean, a complete fucking meltdown of a turnover would have to happen. A fumble for a touchdown, a pick six, something special teams touchdown. But I mean, they're punching this in. I guess you have to pray that there's a fumble or a pick or some kind of fucked up snap, but they punch this in 27-17 and it's over. Touchdown. It's over. OVA, not OVO like Drake. It's over. Now, I mean, yeah, that's why college football is so great, but a lot of people don't pay attention. They just look at it on the Instagram or Twitter X, or Facebook. Oh fuck, I should have probably watched that. You got to be a part of the greatness while it's live. And be a part of the memories instead of just looking on your phone afterwards. Like playing video games or watching some fucking rerun, was that worth it? Georgia fans are not happy. But as far as college football fans, this is the first year, like I said, that it felt like it was a birth. Besides the conferences merging, it felt like this is the first year. There's no guarantee that it's Bama or Georgia, and that feels good. Like, tell me I'm wrong. Unless you're a fan of Bama and Georgia, but it's like it's cool to be able to see like maybe 6 teams actually have a chance to win it all, except the one that we know that is the best in the SEC for that year. Oh, Bama's the best in the SEC. Oh, they won. Oh, Georgia's the best. Oh, they won. Now it's like, who the fuck's going to win? That's what makes it interesting. So, sorry about the G-Paw. Um, yeah, I haven't had any of that in my life for like a long long time. Anytime you have a family member or a pet that is actually slash family, cat or dog, because those are like family, right? If you're a good cat or a dog owner, you treat it like a child, but like almost above and beyond sometimes, depending on if you have kids of your own or not, right? It's not going to be an easy process, but we got you. Like I said, I got you. No, a lot of us, have gone through the depression or the anxiety or the loss of something in the last like 3 years. Like, I think everyone has known, somebody, something happened, and yeah, it's tough, like I said, but that's why it's like good therapy. Watch sports, hang out, right, and then we'll support each other, try to make it through. Got to, right? Just keep moving forward. It's crazy, man. Oregon loses, Georgia loses. I mean, how many people really, honestly, okay, you're going into this college football game and you're like, Alabama? You're like, oh, man, I don't know. They don't look very good. Texas beat them. I don't know, right? And then all of a sudden you're watching the game and you're irate. You're like, I thought this was the three-peat. Go Dogs. But it shows you, statistically speaking, right? Teams don't fucking three-peat in college football. People can rant, they can fucking say whatever the fuck they want, right? Oh, this and that. But like even with Swamp Kings and Tebow and Urban Meyer, if you haven't watched that, on Netflix, watch it. It's worth it, right? But it's difficult to win 3 in a row or 3 out of 4. There's so much talent, and so much transferring. You could literally be the biggest thing on planet Earth for college football and still not be able to achieve that. But again, the tide is coming in, right? The tide is coming out. We have a different wave and a different electricity, to college football. This is the first year, and it'll be like this way moving forward, going into the expanded college football playoff, 4 teams, 8 teams, 12 teams, 16 teams. I like it. I know Georgia fans are shook right now, but again, you had 2 championships. Don't get fucking greedy, okay? Time for someone new to win, and preferably, if it ends up being a Big Ten or a Pac-12, that would be the best for the sport. So then everyone has hope, even if you're like a scrub team or a mid-level team. You're like, damn, if Michigan or Washington can win it all, maybe we can one year. Maybe we can, 27-17 Bama. What's that? I don't even know what that is. Bowers. Second down and 1. Back. All the heavens. Everyone, hybrid. 90% of planet Earth had Oregon and Georgia winning. Period. No, he did not get it. rivalry games are just, you know what I'm saying? Like you can have no faith in something and then all of a sudden you get a glimmer of what it was earlier in the season, but most people are just like, nope, not going to happen. Hasn't happened in 7 games. Why is it going to show up? And magically it shows up, you know, in an elite performance when it counts the most. There we go. First down, Bulldogs. Now it's like you need a miracle. And anytime you need a miracle on a team that's been outplaying you, most of the time you lost. You know, like I said, if you didn't win that line of scrimmage and that other team had a better defense that day, then there it is. The writing is on the wall. Uh-oh. Penalty flag. Alabama. Alabama Chris Tot. He's like, give me that face mask, bitch. You gotta let go. 27-17. Shoulder pad all fucked up. Personal foul. Face mask defense. Number 91. Automatic first down. All right, Georgia. Make it interesting. Play like Oregon. Fight. If you're gonna lose, you're gonna lose by 3. That's how we do it. You know, if you're gonna lose, you lose with pride. Like we're gonna fucking lose, but I'm gonna make sure that we're gonna lose by 1, 2, or 3. It ain't gonna be by 4, 5, 6, or 7. Like, you know, that's when you know when the teams mean business. Like even the losses, you want to lose by the least amount. You gave everything that you had all the way to that final 0, which most teams don't do. Bowers, baby. I know it's not over. It's always that like glimmer of hope, you know. Less than 4 minutes to go, down by 10, but he can do it. Oh, baby. Sarah calling out donos like echoes. Dono, dono, dono. Hello, 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 hello. 27-17. Alabama. Georgia's getting in, obviously. And with the timeouts, do you onside kick it or do you just 3rd and goal? All right. Let's see what kind of play calling we have here. Shotgun set. Milton. Uh-oh. 4th and goal. See, that's when you have an elite defense, when it takes them like fucking 4 runs to maybe get a yard. You know, that's the type of defense I dream of having at Oregon before I die. Like you're so fucking good, and not only do they do that, like make them get to 4th down and you know run stop, run stop, run stop, all for like no yardage, and then you do it for a 4th time, or you do it multiple times where you do it on the previous drive also. So it's like you got 6 plays on the one, and you hold them. That's when you know your team is one of the best in the world. I want that. Maybe one day. Yeah, but you know, some days will be better than others. Some days people, you know, they'll recognize the greatness. Great game though. Good game. Good game, and that's why I'm here for it. I love college football. I love the energy. I love the passion. I love the camaraderie. The cheerleaders. The student section, the band, the fucking theme, the songs, you know, that are important with each team, the fight songs or anything else that they have like special to the crowd with nicknames and all that. It's the best. 4th and goal. They're like, do we QB sneak it like we're the fucking Philadelphia Eagles? Let's see what Carson Beck does. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Ooh, ooh. Who, who, who? That's just like Oregon. You're fighting back with that belief that you pray the other team fucks up and then you can tie it or win it. But it's like you can only do so much when you have 4 minutes or less. It's like you can be the best team in the world, but if you have a competent team that has been play calling you to death and they're the underdog and they're beating you, for them to fuck up late, I don't know if you're going to see a fuck up late with a team that's coached by Saban, like in this situation. But we will find out. That's why we watch these games. Extra point is up and good. Game is good, just like Washington, Oregon was good. That's what good games are in championship games when it's 3 points. You already know it's fire. Yeah, or if you have a game that's 10 or more, it's not good. Not good. Yeah, I don't know. Probably working. Guy works like a madman. You know, There's like airport, and it's like when you have like cargo and baggage claim, and you're like loading the planes and then managing shit. It's like, and then you're hopping from like airport to airport. That's like chef. So it's like sometimes you're gonna be living in this city. I'm in Arizona. I'm in Phoenix, and then you go from that airport. Oh, I'm in Miami, or you know, I'm in Atlanta. So plus, I think if you have other stuff going on too, you know, so much work, and if there's anything in the personal life, like mental health wise, yeah, but I should message him. But normally we'll talk after the game and whatnot. But most of the time, if he's not in the stream, it usually means he's working. The hell, for someone that works as much as him, you know, if you want to enjoy the game and just watch it by yourself or with your homies with nobody attached to it on the internet or social media, everyone's got the right to do that. This is one of the things that's kind of like the new wave. That's like people don't watch ESPN. People are going to watch the game and try to find a channel to watch it with. It's just kind of the new trend, and um, because a lot of the people that are on YouTube and Twitch are better than the people that are on TV. It's very clear. So good game. You know who's good? Michael Penix Jr. That's who's fucking good. The brother, Steve Young. Better than Tua. NFC, Michael Penix Jr. I'm a Duck fan, right? But Bo Nix being at 24, he played 6 years, and he's already going into like retirement. He's already 30, bro. Like you can be as young as you want to be based off your age, but in sports, like when you hit certain ages of 30 at running back or at quarterback, and you're 24, it's not like Bo Nix is 18 or 19 or 20. Some of the NFL quarterbacks that got drafted a couple years ago, this is their third or fourth year. They're 24. So, there's little subtle things like that. That'll be something that, teams will be concerned with. You know what I'm saying? He has to have the right pieces around. Some guys are good enough to lead by example, and they have that uber talent, that Mahomes. But some of us, and others, they're good, and some can be elite. But sometimes when you go to that next level, you're gonna need that same kind of help. And if there's like no O line or no wide receivers to throw to, of course he's gonna look like shit. It's like you got to get help. Can't always be just like you're the best player. Yeah, but the thing is, you have to think you're doing it by a base. You're a Duck fan too in Hawaii, and you're doing it based off greed because you want Bo to play because you want to watch him play. But Bo needs to look out for Bo. And if he gets injured and tears his ACL, where do you think he's going to get drafted? That money that he'd be leaving on the table for all this hard work, coming back to Oregon to try to win a natty, and that's the only reason he came back. So you got to look out for yourself. Oregon never wins the bowl game anyways. So for us fans, it would be like selfish. If he wants to not, then that's kind of the trend that Duck fans are selfish because they want to see him play one more game. You know, but if we were gonna play one more game that was meaningful, we would have won the game that mattered. Go baby, go! And that's why Alabama, Nick Saban. Once a team is dominating you, it's kind of hard for them to stop. Yeah, but it's going to be different for Penix though. It's the lefty factor also. Milroe is Justin Fields. That's what it is. He can run. He's a preferred runner, right? He can't make plays all the time. He's not a consistency guy. He's a splash guy. But when he gets a splash play, it'll be a passing touchdown. So then all of a sudden he started off the game like 0 for 4, 0 for 5. You're like, oh fuck, maybe I see why they benched you. And then they brought you back. But then you got hot. Guys got open. Offensive line has played great. No one has talked about the offensive line all day. Commentary is blind. But if Alabama's O-line and D-line don't play as good as there's no way they're fucking up by 3. There's just no way. That's why sports is great because, you have this vision in your mind that Oregon's going to win by 10 to 17 and Georgia's going to win by 10 or more. And then you get this and you're like, how? How is, but it shows the teams that are the most well-coached and they win that line of scrimmage, the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end shit don't matter. It just doesn't matter. They can be the biggest players on planet Earth, Heisman candidates. But if that O-line, D-line aren't doing their job, then, kiss goodbye and you dream of winning a natty. Milroe is fast, but he's like Fields. Sometimes Fields is going to make the 3 touchdowns to DJ Moore, and you're like, damn, you look like a top 10 quarterback. Then there's going to be games where he throws 1 touchdown and 4 picks, and you're like, fucking A, dude. You can't even hit Cole Kmet wide open in the end zone. So, so I think that if I'm the Bears, I wouldn't necessarily, though, get rid of him for like, oh, I'm going to go Caleb Williams. Because what happens if you go Caleb Williams and he fails and then it doesn't work out? Then you just lost Justin Fields and then you drafted another one that didn't work. So it's like if you're the Bears, you're in a very awkward situation where your franchise is either going to make it or break it out of this like dump that you've been in based on what quarterback you select. Or if you do go quarterback and if you actually go for other positions, that would be smarter. 27-24 Bama. Lily in the building. Milroe dancing, romancing, diving for the first down. First down. Crimson Tide. Roll Tide. Because you got to think momentum in sports, you either see it or you don't. You feel it or you don't. So it's like when a team has been trending and doing certain things, they typically will keep that up, especially if they're the underdog. It's very rare you have a very well-coached team and they end up having that hot game and they just fucking shit it away at the very end. Of course, it does happen, but based on, play calling, Saban is so, articulate and meticulous with the play call. I mean, he's going to do the exact play call with his group and his OC, the way that is the safest for them. He understands what it is to, lose games by close margins. You can't let a game like this slip away and let Georgia win, period. This is a huge win for Saban, one of his best in his career if he actually gets this dub. 6'2", 220. Yeah. Well, again, like I said, if you watched football and saw stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you're on a different level than every other football fan that was born from like 2000 to now because you don't know. Like once you see the Barry Sanders and the Marcus Allens and the Eric Dickersons and the Emmitt Smiths and the Walter Paytons, if you see it, then you're like, oh. But if you never have seen it, then you just think the guys that are playing now, like McCaffrey is great and all. You know what I mean? But if McCaffrey was a running back in the day, he wouldn't necessarily be number 1 every year. Like there was a lot of talent. That's why I think watching the games instead of seeing it on your Instagram feed or Twitter X after, kneel down by Bama. And look at this. Final score, 27-24 Bama. So we go, Michigan beats Iowa, but based on how everything has been happening, Iowa's going to beat Michigan. Is that what's going to happen? And then we just have this crazy clusterfuck, right? But Michigan should beat Iowa. Michigan 1, Georgia 2, Washington 3, Alabama 4, Texas, fuck my life, right? You're like, me, or Florida State wins, me. But what's more important, this win over Georgia for Alabama to elevate and get in at the 4, Or are they going to do an undefeated Florida State team that sucks that no one wants to watch? Or Texas, who's well deserving but will probably finish fifth and said, fuck, I'm not going to be able to get in. I'm the team that gets screwed this year. And the sad thing is, if Texas got in, they actually have a chance that they can win it all. If Quinn Ewers is playing good football, Texas is just as good as the other top teams like Michigan and Georgia and Bama. I mean, every favored team has lost by 3. So what does that mean? Iowa's beating Michigan 24-21? Is that what just the relay just happened? Is that what information just got processed? That would be the most shocking thing ever. And it's like you think some weird juju is in the air in the sports or whatever. They're like, okay, 2 upsets. Okay, sports gods, we get it. You wanted to take everyone's money back, for all the money that you've been paying out to all the sporting betting and all that. You want to make sure you're collecting and the house is winning. We're not only going to have Oregon lose, we're going to have Georgia lose too. And then now imagine Iowa. Imagine how many millions of dollars have been lost in the last 24 hours. Now you're like, God damn. Now you're like, damn, did I pick the right team? 27-24, Alabama, Crimson Tide. Sports is great. I think everyone would lose their goddamn minds because Iowa's not even in the same category as Michigan. Like Georgia and Bama, even Washington, Oregon, even. This is like if it was Michigan, Ohio State, then you're like, oh my god, I don't know. But with Iowa, they have a great defense, but they can't score points. Sarah's a fan. They got good tight ends typically. They've had some key injuries. They got a corner that's banged up that should be NFL first or second round. So there's players, but there is no way in hell that unless you have help by some inner divine intervention, some kind of like Iowa would literally have to play the game of the season, and then whatever they did in the game of the season, they would have to magnify that by like 10, and then they would have to get uber lucky with like a pick six, fumble for a touchdown, punt return, kick return for a touchdown. Like you would have to probably have one of those. And if you had a spark play like that, Iowa pick 6, and then all of a sudden you have momentum, then who knows? Pretty wild. But like I kept telling Georgia fans and Shep, statistically speaking, I don't give a shit how good the team is. If you go based off history and how history tends to repeat itself. Yeah, history is meant to be broken, but a lot of tendencies repeat themselves, like the Matrix, right? And you're not going to win 3 because, I mean, when's the last time someone won 3 championships in a row? I bet nobody can think about it on the top of their head. And then some people are going to think, has it ever happened? Jalen Milroe. Hey, I saw 0 for 5, but 2 touchdowns, no picks. He played clean. And offensive line, defensive line. Good job. Roll Tide. Tell him, baby. Roll Tide! He's like, you guys fucking benched me. Now look at me. Nice job. I mean, Oregon and Georgia now, it's, and they talk about college football is not good. It's about to get like to the point from now and the next 10 years moving forward, it is going to be the best that we've ever seen. There's going to be more viewers and it's going to be more upsets and it's going to be spectacular. It's no longer going to be so lopsided, baby. Let's go. All right, Jalen. A very Justin Fields-like performance, but it was good enough. Let me see the play of the game. 4th and 4. Jalen Milroe, 4th down and 4. Going deep. What a catch. First down, Isaiah Bond. They have a Bond, don't they? He's kind of good. Touchdown. Unbelievable. What are the chances that Oregon and like if you watch college football all year, like you would assume that both would win, right? If you watched any of the games, and then to have okay, maybe one loses, but not two. And then so I don't know if the trifecta is in the air, but what that does lead up, that leads to favor Michigan winning it all. If Michigan had a year to be able to take advantage, where the SEC is a little down and maybe the Pac-12 is good, but you feel that you could be the best. JJ McCarthy plays well. Blake Corum dominates. Michigan defense trying to be the best in the world. If they play like that, then we got a Michigan Wolverine champion or one of these other teams. All right. Wow, 27-24 Alabama. I'm going to go spend some time and walk my pup and do that. And then I'll definitely watch Michigan and Iowa. Now I'm more intrigued, to see if the actual comeback can happen. But this is why college football is so good. And if you actually watch the game or even caught the end of it, good for you. Salute to you because you're actually a part of history. And then you can be like, I watched that instead of just be like, oh, I saw it on my Instagram feed. It's not the same. To be able to watch history unfold in front of your very eyes. And Pac-12 championship, SEC championship this year have been two of the best in a long, long time. It gives hope that maybe a Big Ten or a Pac-12 team could win it all. Huskies, Wolverines, possible. Feels pretty good. Well, I appreciate you guys and for all the people that came through and showed love. And like I said, I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do probably a couple reaction videos, and then I'll do Sunday Night Football. We'll do the Chiefs and the Packers. I will be watching with my pup Eagles and Niners. That'll be on in the afternoon. If for whatever reason I do decide to do that stream, it is possible to do two, but we will see. I would kind of want to do some reaction videos to the NFL highlights and then get into that. But there will be some streaming action going on, and we'll get some videos up, and then and then we got Monday Night Football, which would be much better with Burrow playing against some type of competition against the Jags and Trevor Lawrence, but it is what it is. So final score: Alabama 27, Georgia 24. Can you believe it? A big upset, and everything is shook up. Now we got to see if Iowa can do it. I'm fucking intrigued. So love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And I got one question for you. Well, talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.